Welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. My name is Dangerous, and this is Galahad. And this is Crosshair, the show that brings you runs with bullets. First-person shooters, third-person shooters, shmups, bullet hells, lasers, rockets, grenades, adorable corgis like this one, and shotgun shells. If it's got bullets, you can find it here on Crosshair. This dog is very... Okay, I'm going to put you down because you're getting a little antsy. Oh. He was clawing to get out of my lap. But yeah, folks, the reason why Galahad opened the show for me today is because I decided to go with an interesting little theme. If you're a fan of old American cinema, you've probably heard of lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Well, today we're adopting a similar theme. Dogs and cats and mice, oh my. We're going to be ending with Mouse, PI for Hire. Right before that is Stray. That's where the cats come in. And leading things off is Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. And you might be wondering, what does that have to do with dogs? Well, the category is all corgis, and Arbalest is here to show us how it's done. So Arbalest, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Hi everyone, I'm Arbalest. I am a Metroidvania speedrunner. I like to play some of the more indie ones here. So today we've got Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. Gestalt, I'm never sure which one it is. Yeah, we're saving all corgis. So in this one here, before we get started, we are going to be going around to try and get 24 corgi pups back to where they're meant to be. So we're going to go save 24 pups, and then we're going to go finish the game afterwards. So rather than wait too much longer, let's make a start. So I'm going to get going in 3, 2, 1, and go. So Gestalt. Thank you. So Gestalt, Steam and Cinder is quite an interesting Metroidvania. It is based more like steampunky world. So if you do like steampunk, I think you'll find something quite nice about this. But it does have its own little kind of twists and turns on it as well, with the way the gameplay works, which we'll kind of see as we go on here as well. So there's a few things to kind of run through first of all before we get started. While we're getting started, sorry. We do have a very strict experience game process we need to go through. We need to get up to level 23 by a certain point to unlock a certain skill so we can take out a boss very, very quickly. So we are going to be taking out very specific amounts of enemies and then also getting through certain skills and that we need as well at the same time. So this is Althea, very nice red hair. Again, much like myself, though again I'm more, mine's not as nice flowing. We are going to get through these vaults here, just taking out some of these team enemies here. We only need to take out enough to get to level 2 at this point, and we need to keep 1 energy. So we can use a gun in this, and we also have our sword. So again, the idea here is we have our main gun, which we can only use when we have enough charge. So we've got 1 at the moment, and we'll upgrade that to 4 by the end of the game. And then the rest is going to be done through sword. And we need to kind of keep that energy as high as possible because we need to use that to take out shields. As well as get through certain obstacles and objects, because it will be our power for our heavy attacks down the line as well. So at the moment we're just getting an introduction to the skill tree. This uses save points similar to how I hate using the term Dark Souls like, but it very much like a Dark Souls game would do, in that if you are saved into one of them, then you will come back to that point. If you die at all, you will keep your progress, you'll keep everything you've done. And then you'll just continue on from that point. So we will use that and do some death warps where we can as well. For the moment though, we're just trying to get up to get our first major skill, which is going to be Tesla bullets, which is just going to be here, and that's where we're going to need to use the gun for the most part as well. So we'll use that there to take out this, and again we're just going to try and take out only certain enemies as we go through here as well. We can use the Tesla bullets we've got to do stuns to enemies, so they have a health bar and they have a stun bar. And what I've just shot there is a skill point option, effectively, so it looks like a bulb. Come on, let me through. There we go. That'll give us skill points too. Now, in terms of the corgis, I guess you'll be wondering, where are they? The first one we're going to get, we're actually going to miss the first one we're going to see here. But don't worry, we'll come back to it very soon. But we will be going to save at least 23 of them. We'll have to go back through there. It's fine. And then we'll just save them now. Hello.
Aww.
There we go. And we'll just go back through this bit here again. Just saves me a little bit of time down the other side. So every time we save a corgi, we'll give them a nice good head pat, because every dog deserves a good head pat.
Agreed.
So let's just get back through this bit very quickly. Just get past these. We don't need to take anything out at the moment. And then when we get to the first boss, I'll kind of explain how the combat works in this, as that's where the more interesting bit comes from this as well. And where some of the changes, I guess what you wouldn't normally expect from some Metroidvanias would be in there as well, with how the combat works. We are just going to play it a bit safe. There we go, that's better. And we're through. There's a couple of different routes you can take with some of these areas, just the same as any other one, but there's not a lot of sequence breaking we're going to do in this run. It is very story scripted, so we can't really skip too much. But what we will and can skip, we will try to. There's only one major skip we're going to do with bosses as well. And that will be about 10-15 minutes away from where we are at the moment. Just kind of keep going through here. We'll now take up this shield person. And we'll work our way up. Again, using that button bullet to just shoot these down, so we can open the way we need to go to get to the boss. And it's quite an interesting story as well. Sorry, you were going to say?
Oh, I was actually going to ask about the story because you just said that you can't really do a lot of skipping or sequence breaks. I was curious if the all corgis run differs from the any percent run and just you have to just go slightly out of your way to get all the corgis, or are there like major route changes from one to the other?
I think the biggest change really comes from the end. So the majority of the run feels very much the same. You're still kind of following the same set route as compared to the any percent run. The main difference really being that when it comes to the corgi percent, once you get to the end of the game is very much a breeze. The purpose of getting the corgis is to basically go to I guess the father or the parent corgi back in the city, which we'll see shortly, called Finn, who wants to save all of them. And when you do that, you get effectively an accessory makes you invulnerable, so it makes the fights a breeze. You can just then ignore everything else and just run straight to them. It does have some additional changes which give you a bit more leniency. So if I was to say, if you were to start running this game, corgi percent is probably a bit more lenient because you don't have to go through the very painful fights at the end of the game. And you also can avoid a certain skip, which is a little bit longer, but you only lose about 30 seconds or so compared to it, which we'll have to do, which can be very annoying because you have to use a bit of enemy manipulation. So yeah, there's a couple of small changes, but for the most part, the run is about the same.
Nice.
We're now moving into our first boss. This is called Mega Mess, so again, giant spider tank. And this is where we're going to show the combat off, so I'll go through it quickly in a second.
You are chunking that health bar. Holy moly.
Yeah. Missing some of those. There we go. So,
GG.
Thank you. So just to run through that. So the main combat we use in this is sword flurries, or what we call sword flurries. It's effectively chaining 3 attacks together by using a bit of cancellation. So you jump and attack, and then you do that just at the kind of point where when you drop down, you can then load into the next slice, and you do that twice as you then do another jump. So you basically do a whole bunch of sword cancels while you're attacking, and this basically gives us the sword flurries that we have there. And that is our main form of attack. You can do a couple different routes depending on how you want to play this, which will be to do a more, I guess, gun-based build. But it depends on what you want to do. You can buy a scope, which we can look at very shortly after this, but in the purposes of the run we're doing today, we won't need that. So you can have a couple different ones, and that's just mostly kind of building up the damage you would do as well. There we go. So now into the black market. So what we need to do is get enough energy here. So we just got a couple of upgrades, sorry, to go get a second bullet. We need that on purpose because we're now going to go and shoot a XP module that's out in the mount. We're not going to see it, but I'm going to shoot it from a distance just to make sure. So we're going to try and take out very specific enemies. Missed that one. There we go. 1, 2. There we go. That's fine.
Nice.
And then we're just going to time load them here. And then from here, shoot up twice. We'll see some purple come down. There's our experience. And that'll take us to level 7, which is where we want to be at the moment as well. So that's good. We're exactly where we need to be. Didn't get a jump, that's fine. And then from the boss here, we're going to hit level 9. So we're just about to come on to the second boss, which is the Berserker. This is an interesting fight because normally the way the game works is you want to try and take out their green bar, which is their kind of their armor bar, as quick as possible and deal the damage. We don't do that with this fight for the first part because for whatever reason the boss here is programmed to take double the normal damage it would do with full armor at this point. So we're going to try and deal all the damage we can in the first phase. So we'll just get started again with this one. We do need to be very careful though. There is a bug with this boss, which if we kill them in the air, we won't get any experience. So we'll have to restart the fight if that does happen.
No.
So we're just going to be very careful with how we do it.
There's a wide AoE on that hit.
Yep. Right, there we go. So that's the first done, and this is where you'll see the damage is now doing half of what it did before, so we want to just try and get their stun bars down as quick as possible. So we use those Tesla blows to do it. There we go, that's
nice.
that boss done. So we're now going to pick up a crystal from the Berserker, so we were asked to kind of look into this from Vincent, who is the owner of Vincent's Bar, funnily enough, and he wants us to look into whatever's disturbances be going on in the black market. And this crystal will give us an unlock to our next set of powers, which is going to be our heavy attacks. But first of that, we are going to go save what was meant to be the first corgi we saved, so we're going to go do that very quickly. First of all, we'll open this chest to get a vial, which will give us an energy boost whenever we need to use it, so we'll use that to recharge it for a certain boss down the line. And there is our first corgi. This is corgi called Bo, so that is Bo now saved. Nice wee head pack to get us going, and now we're on the board.
Good corgi.
Good corgi. If you have any pets, make sure you're giving them good pets and keeping them hydrated in this weather as well, please. Make sure they're nice and hydrated because they can get just as hot as we can. There we go. That's another skill. We'll take this down here because we'll need to come back here again afterwards, and we can continue on. We'll now see a bit of a cutscene here between two other members of what effectively is the main elite force. So this is Renard and Cassandra. We will meet them again. One very sooner than the other. But we'll have a wee chat with them quickly just to say that they've taken out all the bandits that are kind of causing havoc here. And we're just going to continue on to go get our powers now from Bran. I think it's Bran. Just to answer the kind of question in the, I guess the Everloom question, the reason we do play it in simplified Chinese is the same as you would do for a lot of other games. It just makes it a lot quicker when we're skipping through the text. So we can get through that a lot faster. I think it saves about 2 or 3 minutes in the main run. So it's pretty substantial. So we're just going to run through here. These here give us the red health. The purple ones we were talking about before, they give us the experience. And then there's blue ones that will give us an energy boost as well if we need that. And there's Finn. Hello Finn. Bye Finn. We'll see you soon. Finn will give us our accessory at the end as well. So once we get there, they'll give us a nice accessory to take everything out. First of all, though, we're going to speak to Ada, who is here going to tell us a bit more about the research about what's happening. So a bit of context. There seems to be something ever looming outside, which we kind of had some kind of prediction about, ever looming into the city that's going to wipe out everything, and we're connected to it somehow, as you usually are. But we seem to get powers from it, and we'll see as well later on that actually we're not impacted by some of the stuff that's on the outside as everyone else is. And we'll get a bit more of that as we go on. Forward here though, Alethea's now got access to heavy attacks, so we're going to dive down here, hit this box on the way down, and just charge it, and then these are now our breakables so we can get a bit further in. Sometimes as well, when you're going down between these different screens, you can, if there's a ladder, then you can have a bit of RNG where it'll actually just drop you rather than have you still on the ladder. Sadly, we didn't get it there, but that's not too much of an issue. Moving on now, we are going to get our second corgi. Just getting through here quickly. Didn't get that, that's fine. We do need to restore our energy though. I am a little bit low. This is not a good doggo, so we're not going to give him that. Sorry, just try to ignore them.
Not
the
a
corgis are the
corgi.
good ones. It's not a corgi, no. We're going to open this. And we're going to go up here quickly. We did miss a bit of the cycle, but that is fine. Just get that there, and then there is our second corgi, Pavlov. Hey, Pavlov. There we go. Good old doggo.
Isn't that the third
So
one?
from here... Nope. So from here, those yellow ones are money. So if we were going to go for a scope build, then we would go and get some money. We need just to route it to be able to buy it from the merchant. But thankfully, because we're not having to get that, we're just going to leave that to one side. Going to push this down here and then open this up. This is to get us the only other accessory we're going to get for the run whilst we're on our way. Which we won't equip at the moment because it does give us some defense, and we don't want that because the next boss we're coming up to, we're not really going to fight. There we go. So we'll get this here again, and I say every time we get one of these, they give us an ability point. So again, that does help with us getting to that skill we need down the line as well. This is the outskirts, so this is going to have us being shelled the entire time. So we have to be very careful with some of the movement we're doing, but also we need to use that to be able to blow up some of the platforms we need to get through. We are going to go through these houses. There's a couple more corgis we'll save here as well. But for the moment, we're just mostly kind of working our way through. Didn't mean to go back in the door. Try again. Trying to get through all this area as quick as possible. We will be getting a couple more skill points there. There's one of them we'll see very shortly. But this is our introduction to the shopkeep. This is the only time we'll say hi and bye to them, as we won't need to be able to speak to them or take any of their wares. So that's just moving on. But as I say, if you do need to, they will have the scope, and it's quite cheap, so you can only get that pretty easily by getting to this point. We are now going to try and just jump past here, and then get that experience. That'll take us to level 11. And if we roll here, down there, there we go. Then if we go here, we're going to shoot again to get another one, which you can just see the confirmation of there. We're going to try and keep one energy now, because we'll need to get this for another one. Now we're going to go save another corgi.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know how they end up getting where they are. I mean, they just seem to find their way.
Oh.
There we go. That was Navy, I believe it was.
Navy. Aw. Good name.
Navy. Down we go. So we are going to try and get a skip if we can here and get some of that time back. There's a skip here we can do, which is quite frame perfect. We're going to blow this up just in case though, so we get that. One more try. Nope,
I see the vision.
It's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we don't get it too far. It does mean we go down a different route. So there's two different ways you can do this. If you can get up there quicker, it does save about 10-15 seconds, which is good. If you don't get it, that's fine. But the route we're going to take now is we're going to try and make our health get as close to 1 as possible for the next boss, because we're not going to fight them. Instead, we're going to let them defeat us 3 times in a row, because it's just infinitely quicker than doing the other way around.
Oh, interesting.
So we are going to just roll past these, and we're going to start taking intentional damage after we get this skill up. Just heard that in the background, so we can move on. The main thing here is we're going to get poisoned from this enemy here. Take that. There we go, and then move on.
Oh, okay.
We can get hit. Nope, just missed the shell. That would have been nice if we could, but that's fine. Take that hit. We've still got quite a lot of health, so we're okay. And then we'll wait for this, and we'll just let that hit us as well. And then we'll open this. So we're not going to go into the save point this time. We're going to go straight through. We should just get to enough health to be able to be taken out in one hit, which is what we're looking for. But what we're going to do now is fight Renard, who was one of the two we just met a minute ago. They're trying to block us from going any further because they think there's something we shouldn't be seeing, effectively trying to stop us from seeing what we need to. We're just going to jump in the grenade and go. But we need to do this 2 more times before we can move on. So we're intentionally going to lose because it just makes it a little bit easier for us in the long term. And the fight, by doing so as well, we are going to bypass any side quests, because there is a few side quests you can do here, which means on the way back, we are going to go through with the shells being shells coming down on us again, which is fine. There we go, that's 2. But normally what you would do is you would go through and defeat them normally, which means the shells would stop. so you wouldn't have as much of a problem coming back. We are going to come across our main movement tech very shortly as well, which does speed up this game quite a bit, which we'll see when we get double jump. Missed that there. One more, please. There we go. And with this, we're now going to move into the lab. So this is going to be where our main and probably our only main sequence break is going to be with the story. This one here does save us probably about 2 to 3 minutes if we're to do it otherwise. And the boss fight itself is quite a pain, especially because we don't have a lot of the things they would want us to have at the moment. So we are just going to bypass it entirely with a particular skip. And then also use, and this would be part of where we need this movement tech we were talking about before as well, which is effectively using a dive kick, which we'll see very shortly. First of all, though, we need to go get double jump, which is just going to be down here. Just be introduced to the main scientist here, who's been looking into the, effectively, it's almost like a creep that's coming up across the city. I can't remember steam specifically it is. I believe it is more steam or cinder based, which is the problem. So this is going to be our double jump. And what we're going to do is, you can hear them in the background. I'm going to shoot first, and then we're going to jump up and save another corgi. But first, we are going to get our skills. So we're getting an accessory slot, which we need, and then this, which unlocks the next set. And then we're just going to go and jump over and save corgi. This one here is Rocket, I believe.
Rocket.
That's Rocket. Now this is our main movement technique we'll be using the entire time, which is dive kick jumps. We will use this for the skip we're just coming up to as well. So let me just get it up there quickly. So otherwise, if we didn't do the skip, we'd have to fight 5 of those berserkers we just fought a minute ago. So we're just going to try and climb up this wall instead, using a wall climb, using cancels. That's 1. 2 seconds, let me just get this up.
This looks tricky.
There we go.
There we go, nice.
So that skips us to say that 2-3 minutes as well. And if we make sure we go down the correct route afterwards, then we will be able to avoid more of the dialogue as well. So this is Kono, I believe it is. That's Kono. That's our 5th, or I guess it's our 6th corgi. I just have to remind myself that I've already saved one of the ones in the vaults. And yeah, so we've got a little bit of downtime now. We're just going to get a bit of exposition and tell about these teleports. So there's going to be a flashing lights now here. These are effectively introducing the teleportation system you can use to go between the areas. So this is our fast travel, so to speak, when we get to them. They'll kind of run through how we're somehow able to connect with them when no one else can do. So we must have some connection to whatever's going on at the moment. Alethea doesn't really care. She just wants to know. She just kind of wants a paycheck for the most part at the start. So we're going to now work our way back and try and get past these enemies. At this point in time as well, we're probably about 6 or 7 levels below, and we don't have a lot of the defense we have. You can get from accessories. So we need to be a bit more careful with where we're going. We don't really have the health we'd want to have at the moment. Going to just drop down here past the Plague Doctor, and then jump back up, open the door, and we're on our way back. I do apologize for the flashing. That will happen a couple more times in this run, just because we'll be using the teleports to do some backtracking. But we'll try and give you a notification when it does happen as well from my side. So apologies if I do miss it. I will try and do my best to catch it.
That's no problem. Our producer's good. He can spot when it happens and throw that up.
Yeah. Richard is great. Thank you very much, Richard. So we're going into here now to save another corgi. We're going to get past the gunman here. And then down here into the door, and we'll now save Maxine. There's Maxine. Aww. Nice head pats for them.
Maxine. Is every corgi a tricolored Pembroke, or do we have like other?
I think they're all the same. Pembrokes? Yeah, I think I was looking to see if they did any more, so I was hoping to that. But yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same corgi.
Would be nice to get a cardigan in there, but I understand that's another asset they have to add, so it's more work.
Yeah, no, it should be fair though. I agree. That should be something people should get in there. You know, we should have that. I'm just going to make sure that was whiskey.
Can have it.
Yes, definitely. There we go. So we're just working our way back. So this is the shells are continuing because we haven't disabled them after doing the fight the way we were meant to do, and we've not done any of the side quests, so we just had to get past them. Thankfully it wasn't too much of an issue, and then we're back into here as well. And we'll get this as well. So this is one of the other teleports we need, and we'll continue on. So from here we're going to go and get 2 more corgis from the main from the city. We don't need to really come back and get them afterwards, so we're just going to get into the run not too far out of the way. But first we need to speak to Ada, which I always forget to do when I come this way. There we go. Just to trigger the story. So normally you would have gone through another 3 or 4 story triggers at this point in time. So this, by just going straight back the way we came and dodging that boss fight, we just avoid all those story triggers. And this is the only time it really works for us as well. If we try to do it anywhere else, we found that there is story blockers that will prevent us going into the next area. We have tried to find ways around that, but sadly the game's not been so forthcoming for us. We'll break it at some point, I'm sure, but for the moment it's still ever elusive. So we'll just run all the way over to the other side of town. And then save another corgi. That is Uni.
Aww. A booty.
And then move on into the Machinist. We'll now speak to the researcher from earlier. This is the only thing I still haven't figured out from the story. The researcher looks very much like Renard, just without a beard, and I don't know if that was just to kind of save time or if they're actually meant to be related. It's never really explained, but they do look identical. And we'll just go over here into this room where this corgi is actually just having a bit of a lounge. There we go.
Aww.
Yummy, I think's the name. Yummy, yeah.
Yummy? Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just speak to here, and now we're going to go and head back. This has actually been a pretty decent section, actually. I was thinking it was going to be a bit slower, but we're actually ahead a little bit more time, which is good. Fall back some of that time from falling earlier. And into the vault. So
chat. Now I can call in chat. Chat, what are your favorite dog names? Go. All right, so where are we going?
So we're moving on to Fornax now. So this is going to be the kind of like, almost like the furnace area. I guess everywhere has their own kind of like what looks to be a heated area. This is exactly that here. I've gone too far. We're just going to climb this wall. We're going to get another vial just for that energy. But now we're back where we were at the start of the game. We're going to go and head into Fornax from here. There's going to be a few more corgis to get. We're only going to get 2 on the way here at the moment, and then we're going to come back for the other 2. Chalky and Spike, they're good names. I like Spike.
Apparently my dogs also have an opinion about that.
Wishbone, I like that name. Cool. Now, we're into Fornax. This area here is going to have the ever-typical Metroidvania escape scene, so we will have that very soon.
Wouldn't be a Metroidvania without an escape sequence.
Exactly. We're going to use this enemy to jump. So the one thing I haven't really explained with the dive kick and why it's so good is not only does it kind of give us that extra movement, but anytime you hit an enemy or a box or something with the dive kick, it effectively resets your double jump. So if the enemy or anything had infinite health, you could effectively infinitely jump on the back of it. So we use that to gain height, which you'll see probably in the next few minutes as well when we're doing that escape sequence. And hopefully as well with other bits as we go on. But for the moment, we're going into section 2. We'll need to get missed one hit with that. There. We are now going to level up. We're going to take this, and this, and then continue on.
I'm very happy someone in chat mentioned Ein as a favorite corgi name, and I see you.
Ein is great.
I notice you. You are a goat. I just want you to know that.
Ein is best dog. Please, if you know the reference.
Yep.
Pat yourself in the back. Please, thank you. Right, so we've got the first of the valves. This is going to unlock all these different areas within Fornax. We're going to go from B5, B3, and then into B4. Sorry, B6, B3, and then B4. What we need to do is we need to get 3 valves, and then on the back of that we need to then do the escape sequence. But we're going to use death warps through these as well. I think I'm actually a level ahead. No, I'm not. I'm just exactly where I need to be. That's good. So we are going to take intentional damage as we go through this from the fireballs. Not those two. That's not intentional. That was totally intended. But when we do this, it's going to allow us, when we get the valve, just to kind of take an intentional death warp. We're going to wait for these to finish. But I wasn't happy with the timing. And we're going to do this twice. Of the 2 of the 3 valves we're going for. Up, there we go. Just going to let that miss that intentionally. Take this, and then we're just going to take the damage we can from this. There we go. So once we finish this section of the game, we'll then take the ability ring afterwards. That's the first one. We're now going to move into B3, which is over here. B3 will be a little bit more tough. Hello there, I heard you. I hear you.
Something is offended her outside.
I missed that jump. That was really bad. Oh no, that's fine. There we go. So we're going to go and take intentional damage on the way up here. We need to hit 3 Tesla shots into the modules, but we're going to take damage from the fire as we go up. I think we probably only want to take 1 more hit to play it safe. So yeah, that's more than enough. Let's just leave the rest of the damage on purpose. Do not hit the health node. And then we're going to fall down here, go through a slurry of enemies just to avoid them as quick as possible. Nope. Going to try and avoid that. We're going to grab the valve, and that should kill us at the same time. Nope. Of course, we have 1 health left. And then just take a hit, punch to the face. There we go. That's fine. So that's 2 of the 3. We have 1 more, and we're going to save the corgi on the way there as well. Probably has one of my favorite rooms for movement in this game as well, which I think really, when you learn it, it just feels very satisfying. So we'll see that very shortly. But yeah, we're going to go save another corgi and get the last of the valve so we can get out of Fornax and into the hardest area of the game afterwards. So this area is going to be really annoying, which hopefully will be nice. We'll see how it goes. So just skip the whole section there, because otherwise you'd have to run all the way through. Just going to climb up here, and then there's a nice little pixel we can stand here all the way.
Oh, that's convenient.
Nice and convenient, and then wait for these to come up, and then we'll just kind of bounce our way up.
Nice.
And then this is the room here, so let's get this. There we go, perfect. That's
well done.
It's so satisfying when you do this room at that pace as well, because you get it all in the right cycle. It's not too hard a cycle, but it is quite satisfying to do regardless. So I'll wait for this to finish. We're going to jump over the lava, and then save this corgi here. That is Marcel, I think. So that's Marcel saved. And we are already about 10 corgis in. So 10 have been saved. We've got another 14 to go.
You said the corgis are all named. Are they named like did you name them, or are these like canonically named from the developer?
They're canonically named. So if I'll wait for the next one whenever I get it, but you will see that everyone has anytime Althea is speaking to them, they'll say something like "you're a good boy" and so on, but then they'll actually use the name of the corgi. So Althea has taken their time to know every single corgi in the game, so they seems to know everyone somehow. They all look identical, but I know which one's which.
Nice.
Clearly is a very much a dog person, just like the rest of us.
Of course.
There we go. That's an extra save point. So now we're going to go into the escape. So this is where we're going to kind of use that climbing we were talking about from the double jump and the dive kick. So as you can probably tell, we're going to have to race against the lava that's falling behind us as well. Because of course we are. And we're just going to try and skip through here as quick as possible. Did not mean to hit that, but that's fine. Roll through that. It's actually a good cycle, so that's fine. Gonna just miss that one, but that's okay. Jump over this one, and then from here we're going to use the dive here. I hope people like bees, because you're not going to like them after this.
Oh no.
So, not the bees is a very good apt thing to say on the back of this. These bees here are going to be what we're going to use to climb up all the way. It is a vertical climb, so we're going to do this all the way up, if they're nice. Which they are, which is great.
Nice.
They can be quite problematic. We'll see them later on. There's a couple other ones we'll have to wait and see later. But for the moment, that wasn't too bad. So we've got through the escape all right, through the climb, because they were very nice to us. And we're now going to move into the Scrap Sea, which is exactly what it sounds like. We'll get our first introduction to Indra as well, which is the person we just see speaking to that, and we'll see them very soon as well. But through the Scrap Sea, we are going to now try and get through this deathless to a point. The Scrap Sea is exactly as it's named for a reason, because of the scrap falling from the sky. I need one more energy. That's annoying.
I don't know if you saw, but we had a poll going in chat for favorite dog name, and the winner was Peanut Butter. This chat knows what it wants.
Yep, it definitely does. I like Peanut Butter. Good choice.
It's a good name and a good dog and a good run. A good couple of runs, actually.
Yes. So that's through the first screen of this. We'll now get introduced to these walls here, which we'll have to deal with very soon. They will be using our next upgrade specifically, which we'll have after the next boss, provided the boss doesn't try to take me out in the first place. What we're doing now is we're moving through to get to Charon, who is effectively living here. They've gone crazy because whatever happens, for the most part, anyone that comes here normally from the city goes a bit crazy, a bit brain foggy from the rain itself. So they hide inside here to keep as much of their sanity as possible. Charon's already lost their mind, but they seem to know what's causing it and what's happening in the background. So they've given us directions to go and find something that will help us in our process, in our journey. So we're now going to head. We're not going to have any other save points from here. We will see at least 2 more. We're not going to take them on purpose because we want to try and take out the boss and then death warp back. We do need to take out 3 more enemies specifically before that point. And the reason for that is the experience does build up, but it also rubber bands a bit. So if you get too much experience, enemies and everything else start to give you less from certain events. And we need it to be very specific because that allows us to hit level 23 by the end of the boss. If we do miss that, which for the moment we should be on track not to, then it will mean we'll need to go farm one of the enemies, which the wheels are quite good for getting that experience if we need to. Which we'll use at the moment. I think that should be enough. We might just take 1 more out to be on the safe side. And then that way when we get to the boss... So, I'm just going to try and avoid these. Down we go. So we've got 1 more skill point, then we'll get here. I am going to heal up, I think, at this point, just to play on the safe side. Healing works, again, using the Dark Souls reference, very similar to how that works, in that you get so many pots of health, but you can get upgrades through the map, which will then let you have more of them. And you can get upgrades as well, will let you restore more health through your skill tree. So there's a couple different things with it. We're not going to get more than the initial 2. We shouldn't need more than the 2. But you can. There is an easy access one pretty early into the game that you can get if you need to get a 3rd pot. So there is quite friendly to get an extra one without losing too much time if you think you need it. We now have 1 more Froggy that's been trapped in here. And this is why these dogs are terrible. This here is Thimsy. Sorry, I was meant to kind of show the dialogue, but that's Thimsy there. Now saved from really mean not doggos. They're not Corgis, so we're not counting them. Up we go. Avoid this arbalest. That's not me. Different arbalest, not me. And then we're going to go up here. Get ourselves some health back. Hopefully we're going to manipulate this enemy just to lunge at us. They didn't. They did the spin, which is not what I wanted, but that's okay. And then we're going to go up here. And then up here into the boss. So we are going to now equip the whiskey and an ability ring. The ability ring gives us a bit more resistance. We're not going to take the save point, and we are going to then proc the whiskey. That effectively gives us an extra 10% of damage from the blade and break damage, which is the green bit. And we're now going to go into the fight with the brute. So the brute is very difficult. They have ads that come into the spawn, which are as a berserker, which we'll see shortly. So we're going to try and take them out as quick as possible, and try and get their health down as possible. But this is the enemy here we want to try and avoid. They will make your life a misery. I'll just kind of do it quite well. Finish this. The other one is an archer, which hopefully won't spawn.
He tried to run away.
Yep, the archer's quite smart. They will try and run away. Whereas the other one will more than happily just chase after you for a while. The other thing about breaking them is what we want to do is why we don't need the health pot so much. If we can take them out quick enough, if you get their break bar down, then you will restore your health as well. So we can use that as our health restoration instead if we can. Just going to do that to get a couple more damage in. You're not being nice to me. Done again. 1, 2. We are not going to do that. There we go, just to play it safe. Just to run the risk. Nice. That was way too close for comfort. Okay, and now we've got access to charge bullets. Charge bullets there will be the second to last major upgrade we'll get from the game. We're going to use it straight away here, and then we're going to get our last upgrade. So we have hit level 23, which is what we're hoping for. We're just going to get all of our upgrades here quickly. And then 1, 2, 3. So this here is going to allow us to basically take out the second phase of the next fight in 2 shots. So we use this to teleport back to where we were. And we will now equip the vials we picked up. We picked up 2 specifically, so if we can try and 2 cycle the first phase of this boss. If we don't, that's fine. We can use them afterwards just to quickly restore, to take the phase out again as fast as we can. But this is going to be Indra. He's got 2 different phases. He's protected by a shield, which is effectively to treat as a tutorial on how this weapon works. You charge up your bullets to do charged Tesla shots. 1, 2, 3 to start. Missed the third shot. And then we can take these out to restore our Tesla. 1, 2. And just for this, restore. We're going to get at least 1 more cycle. This is fine. One, 2. And that's the first phase done. So the second phase here turns into a bit of an electric beast because of the effect of the steam and the armors they use. And we just shoot them twice and they're gone. So nice and quick, simple. The first phase is the only one that can be a bit problematic. But thankfully they were quite happy to just take the shots for this time. The RNG, they could move anywhere on their within set pattern. Thankfully they were very nice to us and just stayed where they needed to be. So that's that. We now have 1 more skill to get, which we get here immediately, which is going to be our air dash, and that is the last of our arsenal of skills we'll get for the game. We'll get a couple of skills from the skill tree, but for the most part now we have everything we need to get through the rest of the game. So what we're going to do now is go and save the rest of the corgis within Scrap C. There is 2 more we need to get. And then once we've got those 2, we can get out of here. This place usually always drives me mad, so I am glad to see that we can get out of here quickly without too much harm. We are going to just leave this here. We are going to use another death warp once we get the second corgi from this list. We're going to go down here, take this down here. And I'm going to take this out now. We don't have to worry too much about experience from here on out. Anything we do get is nice because it's an extra bit of skill we can use, but for bonuses, for like boost to attack and that. But ultimately, we don't need to get anything from here on out. We should have everything we need to complete the game. We will get 2 more skills, but only right at the end. There we go. So this one here was Duke. Duke's a very good name as well. I think Duke's a good name for a dog.
Absolutely.
And there we go. So yeah, we'll just kind of move on for the rest of it here. Chat, how many of you actually own pets? Do you own dogs? Do you own cats? Do you own hamsters, mice? What do you own?
Yeah, we need a pet roll call in chat.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I agree. But if we're on some downtime, I actually had a question for you because I noticed your speedrun library, according to speedrun.com, it's not super extensive, but you run mostly like 2D platformers like this one. But then you've got this one random outlier, Sonic 3D. Is it Sonic 3D Blast? I think
Sonic 3D Blast. Yeah.
So what led you to run that if you're like a 2D Metroidvania platformer fan?
So good question. A couple of people within the UKSG community, I guess one person in particular was Robblehead, they were setting up a Sonic 8 relay race for UKSG in Green during it just took place in May. And I was asked, hey, do you want to run Sonic 3D Blast? This is just me playing it casually for the first day afters, but I've always liked the game. I said, yeah, sure, why not? And I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. The best way to put it. I do love 3D Blast. It was great. It was great fun. Great relay. But yeah, it was the only outlier. I didn't think I'd ever run a Sonic game, but they were very persuasive.
Nice.
And it was definitely a bit of fun. But yeah, normally I would there we go, forgot to split. Normally I would just run Metroidvanias. Like as I say, Gestalt was the second one I played. I started my first Metroidvania I really played was Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, which again, great game as well. And I kind of just fell in love with Metroidvanias as a speedrun then as well.
Yeah, and it was
a very good run following. Yeah, a very good run for Sonic. I don't know.
You say like, oh, I didn't run it for that long, but you're decently high on the leaderboard. I mean, 15th out of 49. I mean, you're like in the top 1/3 of the leaderboard. That's pretty good.
I did get a couple of months of practicing, so I was quite happy with it. To be honest, I'm really happy with it. I wouldn't mind going back to it again, though. I wouldn't mind going back to do try and get sub 28, or at least get around the 28-minute run. I'll be quite happy with that. So
that'd be nice.
But yeah, definitely go back to it. I know people have been asking me to do Spinball. That one might take a bit longer. We'll see. So this is Kimchi. Sorry, I forgot to say we saved Doug, Sky, and we've now saved Kimchi as well. But yeah, as you say, every single dog has got a name on it. It's programmed into it. So yes, everyone is a good doggo.
And I'm assuming I can't remember if you said this earlier, but I'm assuming you're running in simplified Chinese because the text scrolls faster.
Yes, exactly. It scrolls faster. They added an update to the game, which basically kind of makes it a lot quicker as well. So when you do the skip, I'm going to do that again. Hold on. 2 seconds. Let me this room can be quite long, so I'm going to try and skip through it by doing a.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to get up there first time. No, I'm just going to wait for this.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, I'll keep double jumping there. That's why. Oh. Come on, where are you?
Looks like a tricky jump to pull.
It can be very tricky. I can't remember who it was that discovered it. Hats off to them, but I hate it. But it definitely is a lot faster. That's the only
really
problem.
Tight.
It can be very, very tight. Because we want it to be a bit higher.
Yeah.
That should be about right. Nope, it's not.
Oh, almost.
Right, if we don't get it next time, I'll just go around the room normally. It is a bit annoying for how tight it is, but it's fine. Wait for this next one.
Close.
That feels better. Nope, never mind. It's fine. We're just going to go through the room normally. This is an annoying trick, but it's fine. We'll just go on the normal way. Don't want to waste any more time with this one.
But yeah, I had a feeling the simplified Chinese was the faster language because I used to run Resident Evil 1 Remake Randomizer, and that game also plays in simplified Chinese because it is faster.
Yeah, it's just a lot faster. Text with those characters usually is just a lot nicer to work with. In terms of the speedruns wise, I get it. I can understand some of it, but I'm still a long way out from fully understanding it at this point. Next corgi here, there we go. Save this one is Toro. Hi Toro. And then hopefully didn't get to skip. There we go. There is a weird glitch on that platform that if you dodge into it at the right angle, you basically kind of do like a full run across the way with the same speed as the dodge. But we didn't get that there, but that's not too bad. We're going to go up here now and get a bit more story. So the nurse or the doctor that we saw at the hospital turns out to be one of the I guess outsiders, so they are kind of morphed in a certain way, but they are in control of it. So we're seeing a bit of the research here. They seem to know Alethea. There seems to be research from when she was a child, so she's almost like the same as them, which is why she can withstand the outdoors. So we'll get a bit of story here about what's happened. And then we'll be asked to go onto a train to go catch the leader of the, I guess, the federal forces and all that. But we're not going to do that. We are instead going to go save more corgis, because that's exactly what we're here to do. Hi Finn, bye Finn, we'll see you again soon. We're going to go to the teleport here, so there will be flashing light very shortly when we get there. And we're going to go back to the vaults. We're going to save in the vaults, and then we're going to go save the other 4 corgis we've got left to do. There's 2 in the vaults that we didn't get last time, and there is 2 in Fornax that we didn't save as well. And then once we've done that, we'll take an intentional death warp to get back to the teleport as quick as we can. We'll just take the save there. Again, with the saves, you do want to try and get yourself in the middle of the platform when you're going to save, because if you do try to walk up to it or press up on it at the edge of it, then there's a short animation which you'll lose time on. So you want to try and be as close to the middle as you can. It is fairly forgiving, so it's not too bad.
Also, I don't think we've commented on it yet. Can we just shout out the character's hair is like awesome? Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
That bright red, and like I love the anime. Like it's not physics based, but like just the flowing animation from when you're running is so good.
Yeah, the character sprite work is fantastic. I think one of the main developers for it, Joel, worked so tirelessly on this game as well. Did a fantastic job with the game. As I say, it had a bit of a, from what I understand about the game, had a bit of a tough cycle around it to try and get it out to the wild. So it wasn't the most best development cycle from what I understand. I know there's quite a bit of story stuff on it, or there's a bit about it on the Gestalt Discord if you're interested. But yeah, either way, I'm really happy with the game. I think the game's great. The ending leaves a bit to be desired, especially if you're hoping for something else on the back of it, which we'll see shortly. But yeah, it's a great game. The combat is really fluid. The animation is fantastic. So they really went out of their way and got a beautiful game out of this as well. You know.
Agreed. And that just means that Gestalt 2 will be even better.
I hope so. Yeah. If they make a second one, I think there's definitely room to make a second one. I think it'd be really cool if they do something more with it, but we'll wait and see. Get ourselves back out here now. So that's a save the 2 vault corgis. Sorry, I just missed their names. That was Willow and Evie.
Aww.
And now we're going to move to Fornax. Try and get some of that time back. And then back into Fornax here. I'm going to go back to where we got all those, but this time we can go straight down into B1. slide all the way down, and then we'll go save the one here. So just before we escape, you hear the barking, which kind of lures you in to say, oh, we should go over here. And it's almost like they troll you into the escape in the first place, but there's corgis barking right here. That is Panko, and Panko breadcrumbs. And then we've got just 6 more to save now at this point. We've got Harley, Boshi, Tofu, Ekmo, Misha, and then we've got Hudson to save as well.
Tofu is such a good name.
Tofu is such a great name. So we're going to go save the one over here. So again, we're going through this bit here again. Shoot this here. So that is Panko saved, and now we're just going to take an intentional death here. And that'll be that. So that'll take us back to the vaults. We'll just teleport back afterwards. And then we're going to go and take a train ride. So we've now only got 5 more corgis to save, which we'll all get from the last area. The first thing we need to do is go through a train ride, which is going to then take us to the next boss, which is Cassandra, who we saw back at the start of the game. She's a bit of a different fight in this one. She does use her abilities as well halfway through or after the first phase, but we also have a timer on this fight. So again, what's a Metroidvania without a timer? We have 3 minutes after the first bit to do the fight, and we have to get through a gauntlet to get to that fight as well. So it shouldn't be too much longer to get there. And then we're going to choose the second option to get on the train. It did not crash on me. I had a run earlier on, which I was doing, and the game crashed on me for some reason, but I tried to do the menu twice.
I thought you were going to say the train crashed. I was like,
the train crashed on me. How did it crash? No, for some reason I managed to trigger a weird glitch. Whenever I was speaking to them, I was able to speak to them twice, but it was like the second time I spoke to them was in the train, and it just kind of hard locked on me, so I had to reset. But thankfully it's been a bit nicer to me this time. Did not mean to run into that. We're just going to try and go through this now as quick as possible. If you go up into the top half of the train, on top of the train, it does slow you down, so you're going against the... I do like the touch for this as well, where they... I'm going to try and do it on purpose so we avoid the bullets, that's nice. But yeah, you have to fight against the velocity of the train, which I think is a really nice touch. So it does give you a bit of a push or give for that. Now on to the boss. We are going to use this whiskey here to try and just make this a little bit quicker. And then we are going to try and stun them as quick as possible. There is a glitch for Cassandra. So Cassandra's fight is fairly standard. There's nothing really special about it. But there is a glitch on the second phase of the fight, which we'll come up to very shortly. Where when she's doing her dive, because she has her own version of a dive, which we'll see now, there's occasionally sometimes where she'll suddenly stall in place and she'll freeze. We don't know why. It just seems to happen. Again, not a big problem. It does actually make it a lot easier if you get it, if you're lucky to get it for a time save perspective.
She's got a really cool weapon though.
She does. I do like the kind of like yeah, it's like a glaive Naginata, I think, or something like that. I love the weapon. Yeah. I was always I'm gonna just heal because I want to play it safe. I was always a Sung Mina main in Soul Calibur as well, which is like, yeah, that gels with me.
Nice. I think it reminds me a lot of the glaive from Lies of P, and I've played a lot of Lies of P, and I love that glaive. So
there we go. So that's just through the train. Funnily enough, the train does crash, so we're gonna have to work our way through the wreckage. So we're gonna work our way through into the last area of the game. So we're now on to the last bit. We'll now meet back up with Cassandra, who sees what's going on and realizes she's being used, and decides to join us to try and get through the areas we need to go. We're now going to work our way into the grassy area here, and into the last section. So we're now going to go save the last of our corgis as quick as possible. We are going to get some more experience here, because I do want to get 2 more skills I was saying about earlier. which is going to be poison bullets, and then it's going to be a whirlwind splash, which will just make very light work of the bosses we're coming up against. We are just going to play it safe and get the save point first before I go for this corgi, because it can be a little bit frustrating. But I'll run through the last major skip and why I said we. The bees are not. The bees are the problem. Once in a minute as well, because there was one more tower climb we need to do, and that tower climb does not like to be nice. So let's first of all go get this corgi here, which is Boshi. We'll get through this here first. Try and avoid these spikes. Shoot this one down. It does act as our platforms here as well.
Someone earlier did say their favorite pet name was Spike, so here you go.
We've had Ein and Spike, so that's good.
Right.
I like that. Someone gets it. We are going to restore health here, because this is the section here. It can be frustrating because of these bats. They do insane levels of damage for this point in time, especially because we're quite under-leveled. You really want to be level 40 at this point in time. So the fact that we're only playing around the level 27 does play a little bit into that.
Oh boy.
So there we go, that got through fine. There's Boshi.
Clean. Aww.
Oh, sorry, this is Tofu. What I'm saying, this is
That's
Tofu.
Hi, Tofu.
That was Tofu. That's best dog name. Right, so now we've got through that, we're now going to go into our tower climb. So we have to manipulate three bees, these bees here specifically, to follow us up the tower to allow us to climb up to basically bypass a whole section of the game we need to do otherwise. It's not so, as I say, this is where the corgi percent allows you to have a bit more leniency, because if you do fail it, so long as you can get halfway up the climb, you're fine. But if you are doing this in any percent, you do need to do the full climb. So these see here, we're going to take 3 of these here if we can. That's 2. There should be 1 more just to play it safe. There we go. And we're going to take them up with us here as well. So we're going to try and get them to come up with us. So are they following us? No, they're not. Okay, so we didn't get the full climb. We would need to go up further than that as well, so that's fine. We'll just work our way around instead. Okay. So the reason we don't need to worry about it is one of the things for this section, the wee gimmick is effectively these vents that we use. When you're playing through this more casually, you do get the vents to go so you can access the top side of the map. We need that as well to be able to save one of the corgis on the left-hand side of the map of this map. So we're going to have to go through this way anyway, so it's not too much of a time loss, but it does take a bit more time to get through. So we've now got the key we need to get access to that. We're just going to drop down here, ignore these enemies, and drop over this way. And then go through here. And then we're going to turn this power on to give us the access to the tower. That was not the right time. So and then fall down here, and then we're going to use the bees again to try and help us get up to another platform. Waiting for this one to spawn. And thanks for that, mate. There we go.
We got it.
We got it. We're fine. Jump around here. So this little obstacle course, and that was 2. Oh no, that was fine. That's good. So again, we use these here to kind of propel us a bit further, using our dogs to get the rest of the way up. We're okay for health. Just jump to slight here, use this here to give that. Again, anytime we get a bounce or anything, it restores our jump, so we can get an extra double jump on the back of it.
The movement here is so good. Oh my goodness.
It's so satisfying when you get it.
Yeah.
That was not satisfying, however.
Oh.
There we go. That was better. That is Misha.
Oh, I mean.
And we've got one more to go and save. Now, because we did have to go through this way, we need to unlock the top section first. So we're going to take out this and stun them. There it goes, just so we can roll through them. And go to the left here. And then up here.
Oh.
The bees. Not the bees.
The bees.
Sorry, just any time I get a chance to say that. Right, now we've got that, we're going to go back down here, save the last corgi, and then we can go and save Finn. And if I've done this right, I should have saved all 24 corgis. If I've missed one, then I am not sure where it's going to be. I don't think I have.
We'll just call the category most corgis.
Most corgis is fine. The good thing is that we get most of the experience from it as well. And this is Hudson.
Oh,
or Hud 601 if you want to be. So there we go. That's all of the corgis now saved. That is moving on from there on to speak to Finn. So what we need to do now is get to the top, speak to Finn. I'm going to take this, we can restore our mana just in case. I'm going to wait for him to move just far enough away so we can move down and carry on. And if we can get back up here, got one more obstacle to get through. These platforms I am jumping too low. There we go. What am I doing?
This looks annoying.
There we go, that's better. I don't know why I was getting that as a problem. Press left here so we don't get these ones. And off we go. Perfect. And off we go. This is the last teleport, so the last warning, or last two warnings for flashing lights here. So we'll go back to town now here to go see Finn. And once we've done that, we'll teleport back afterwards, and then we will go into the last three fights. And this is where it's going to get a little bit trivial. And again, why this is a lot more respected for newcomers if you want to learn the run. As I say, this helps you to learn the fights a bit. But then you also have that kind of leniency. There we go. That should be it. Just give Finn a nice wee head pat as well before we go. There we are.
Aww.
And if we're right, yes, we have. We saved all the corgis. We've got the accessory we need. And we are now good to go. So we're just going to get all of our upgrades here quickly that we need. So we're going to get this, and we'll get one more ability point for the poison, but we don't really need it. It doesn't really do too much. So the reason why this is so powerful is when you save all the corgis, and the reason you want to save all the corgis is Finn thanks you for doing this a service and gives you an accessory that doubles all the damage you do, basically. And then also gives you infinite lives and infinite energy. So your energy will continuously restore. You don't need to worry about any management of it. And then lastly, of course, is the fact that we can now bark our enemies to death. And you'll see exactly what I mean now. We'll use this here. And just do a couple of spins. And there we go. That's the Lisa bark to death, and we've got just 3 more to go. Just 2 more bosses to go. Sorry. And so yeah, this is why the accessory is so powerful. It just gives us basically infinite lives. We can just do whatever we want. We don't have to worry about trying to dodge anything or do anything. We can just bark at them, and then we can just slash them, and then, you know, it's a good time. It's a good time.
I mean, it feels appropriate that we're barking at them since category, you know.
It really does. It really does. And so we fight Renard a second time now. We're just going to do spin them once so we can get the stun. We're just going to do a couple of low attacks here to get that unlocked, and then we're just going to spin them down a bit.
Wow, that damage. Holy moly.
So it's 1, 2, 3. That's Renard
Nice.
down, and we've just got one more fight to go, and we are done. So we're now going to go fight the last boss, the Chrome Knight. So this normally is quite an intensive boss because they can on any percent, and the reason why it's not so forgiving is that the boss can take you out in 2 hits. And it doesn't really have any. And you've noticed through the game as well, there is no flinching. There's nothing of the sort like that. So you're really having to just dodge and avoid them as much as possible. The Chrome Knight is very bad for them. So we are going to just try and ignore that entirely instead, and just spin to win. That is all we need to do. So we're gonna. Like this is my final form. You can't win against this. That's fine. We'll just bark at you.
That sword looks familiar.
It does, just a little bit familiar. So this is what I meant to do. Like, the other reason why this fight is a bit more difficult is you can't restore your energy traditionally. You have to basically hit the fireballs to restore your energy. We don't have to do that. We just spin. And then we're just going to do a couple of these, and time is coming up on the last hit, and that's time.
GG.
There we go. And just underestimate as well there. So yeah, that's Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. As I say, the ending is a little bit. When you read the ending, it's a bit. Where did that come from? But it's a very good game, very enjoyable. And if you do like Metroidvanias, it does have its own kind of charm to it. There's a few things in there that are really, really good, especially the combat. If you like something like this kind of combat, then I think you're going to find something here. So yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for that. Hope people enjoyed. It's been fun being with us.
I definitely enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really glad that you submitted this to Showcase, because it ended up making for a really awesome run to show, and I hope to see it on the big main stage one day. So yeah, thank you again for submitting it and for showing it off. And folks, we're gonna take a quick break, real quick, just to give you a chance to stretch. Get some water, do what you gotta do. Welcome back to Crosshair. We just finished up Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder, all corgis. And I had a corgi in my hands for that run, but I don't have a cat for this next run, so you're gonna have to just be satisfied with the cat that's in the game. Stray's up next with Jonathan. So John, take it away.
Hello everyone, and yes, there is more than one cat actually, but we're not going to see them very much. But I started running this game in like late 2024 December, and kind of took over for me. It kind of changed everything, and I love to share it with people. And I mean, this game means a lot to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, as I said, there's 3 extra cats in the start that we're not going to see a whole lot. There's actually a really rare glitch where one cat on the right doesn't even spawn in. I've only ever seen it like I think twice in my runs. It would be insane if it happened here, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, there it is. It just jumped up. So there's a lot of bizarre, like really rare like glitches in this game that hopefully we won't run into. But if we do, it'll be funny. So the way we interact with these cats is right to left. It's just the fastest way. We're gonna start out. This cat in the center really looks like my cat Mia.
Aww.
Unfortunately, just left the room like right before it started, so she wanted out. But yeah, I have a little pre-game ritual here that I like to do. I just kind of started doing this black cat here. One day I kind of discovered by accident that if you look up, it will lick the screen. So everyone, get ready for a little cat bath. It doesn't render the odds because it doesn't think you shouldn't be able to see that, but I discovered that one day.
That's
Now
funny.
here you're meant to lay down, and this is called nap skip. You wait until the prompt shows up, run up the wall, interact, and we're not going to be able to pass on to the interact, so we're going to spin in circles, which is going to skip the first cutscene of the game,
Nice.
which is really long. It's like over a minute. Time save. Now here, I'll talk a little bit about this after I do it. Alright, so what I just did there is this cutscene is supposed to place you down here. There's a route there. You kind of run down the pipes in the cutscene, so you start down there. But you can just, since we skipped it, that's not going to happen, so we can fall down that way by holding W and A, or W and D, doing a little U-turn. Now, if you were to say touch one of those cats, it will start the cutscene, so that's kind of scary. So that's why I tried to avoid that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now here it's showing us the most important button, the meow button, which should be a universal
Agreed.
button in all games, but it's not. So one thing that makes this game way simpler to speedrun is the use of macro, which we can. So there's like two or three, two main, and there's like an extra one you can do. The two main macro buttons is meow and skip text, which I have set to the same thing. That's what most people do. And it's like 2,000-ish meows per second or something crazy like that. So very you can just blaze through all the dialogue, and the Zerks, which one of the enemies you'll see after this part, are not able to grab onto you whatsoever.
Yeah, I remember
Very.
the macro. I remember the macro became a thing because there were people binding meow to scroll wheel. So
Yeah.
I knew about that one. I didn't know about the other macros though. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like all the same thing, but you can just put extra buttons on it. The other one for unrestricted is also sad. Cat getting separated, but it's gonna be fine. Don't worry. The one for unrestricted is you can set it for help button on B12, which we'll talk more about that later when we see him. These for skipping cutscenes. There's like 4 cutscene skips in total. Here we've got Thrown down in here. This is a dead city. It's gonna have a little introduction to like puzzles and like pathfinding, showing you where to go. This game is really easy to navigate like casually. It like pretty much shows you everything. There's like arrows everywhere, and there's there's hints everywhere. Very hard to get lost. And these guys, the Zerks, kind of look like head crabs from Half-Life, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, they do. Huh.
That's what they remind me of a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how else we would have got in here, but it seems like their motion detected actually opened the door for us. Yeah, they are, the 2 of them. Now, they are quite annoying if you're just playing casually without the macro. They can easily group up on you and just kill you. It's very frustrating. I actually had second thoughts about running this game until I was like, oh, well, they're not a problem, so. Here, this is just, we're not able to run into a certain point, like about here. I'm gonna get close to this door. This chapter is like very intentionally dark and like a lonely feeling. We've just been separated. We're gonna try to find our way back. Hopefully, surely, right? We'll find our way back to some kind of civilization.
Surely.
Now, there's a hint at what's to come here. There's like a dead robot there. See, there's the first arrow. No trumpets apparently beyond this point, so no one's I mean,
All right, chat. You saw the sign. Put your trumpets away. All trombones are fine. You can keep those, but the trumpets have to go.
all the trumpets. Now this is the first little like mini puzzle here. You can either just drop the bucket or you can just run into the fan with a bucket. It works the same way. I'm gonna try for a little bucket skip here, which saves like literally less than a second. It's very, very small.
Nice.
But like that. So what it is you interact with the bucket as it's falling, and since it like pushes you off, you just fall where it's going, just straight down. Now this is another very small skip. This is like a jump scare, meant to be a jump scare. If you hold back like that, right before it happens, you don't get knocked back at all. You can actually sometimes get knocked forward, which is the most optimal. It's just like a timing thing. Now this is the first of how many? I think there's like at least two chase sections I can think of, which are a breeze with the macro. So we're just gonna run in a straight line. There's a really hard achievement for this part, which is to get through it without getting grabbed by any Zerk. I've only ever done it one time, and yeah, it's very hard to get because, like you see there, I didn't even have control of my camera yet, and it already grabbed me.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some like RNG that's some of this.
I think I died here on my first playthrough.
Yeah.
My first attempt.
Especially if you go like the wrong way, like this way, you can go to the right there, which is slower. But yeah, you lose 1 frame every time they grab you. I mean,
not
a whole lot, but you know. If you're wondering, like me, if you're wondering like why I'm like randomly losing time, it's like I probably got grabbed a whole bunch of times here. Now, the other thing, it's like more common to happen in this level at the start is there's like 2 different animations the cat can do when jumping. You can either get like a little sprint boost off of certain jumps, which is once again just like a timing, like I think camera angle thing too. But there's another one that's slower and you lose like a second. I think it is at least a second, where the cat just kind of slips on the ledge, which I believe is if you try to jump from somewhere from a bit too far away, it just barely can't make it and it slips for a second. Now you can't actually fall off of anything, so that's not going to happen. Like there's not going to be a cat like falling to its doom or anything. Just a little bit of randomness in the jumps here and there. So just platforming. There was a barrel. If you've ever seen glitchless runs or you have ever run glitchless, you absolutely despise barrels because there's so many of them. One of the levels, rooftops, that we skip in this has like 3 back-to-back barrel sections, which is just very tedious. That right there was one of these sprint boosts I'm talking about. It's very hard to notice if you blinked, you might have missed it, basically. But I jumped to that sign like a bit faster than normal. It's not completely understood, but okay, you don't want to jump on there because you can't sprint. See, there's also lights here that kind of guide you. You can meow to like light them up even more. And we're going to be going to the flat after this. There's one here that I'm going to go for that you can get every time if you time it right. Is you can get a little sprint boost into this fan. Yeah, something like that. That was
nice.
Just about as good as you can get. Now here, I like to meow at this because the little camera will nod its head at you, which I think is fun. You're going to type in 3 lines of code. It doesn't matter what you type in. We're going to get as close to this door as we can before the cutscene. There's some cutscenes. Also, I'm going to try to go for some crazy... If there's a way you can teleport there by like going out of bounds. It saves like a second. It's kind of finicky though. Now this section, a lot of people have struggled with at first because like the movement and the camera angles is just kind of all over the place at times. I found out if you just spam interact as you fall here and hold W and A, you just instantly place the last one, which is nice. Like this for example, this cutscene, you can just keep moving as it's going. You can get all the way up here.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
This is going to be our little robot friend B12. Not the vitamin, of course, but like the robot. Now, I meant to turn my camera to the right because the camera is going to be still facing this way, which is going to be kind of annoying to like readjust. There's a few things like that too, where you like where your camera is at after a cutscene. That's where it'll still be, so you can just instantly go that way. But it's just a small like readjustment. Now, I'm not like big on the lore in this game, but I know that this B12 used to be a human. He was like a scientist, and he turned himself into a robot, from what I know. And over the course of the game, he's going to like slowly try to regain memories, which we're not going to be able to see much of the dialogue, unfortunately. But he's just going to show us his main uses are like he gives us inventory, he gives us a flashlight, we can interact with stuff, we can like use keys and whatnot. Like here, if I had looked the right way, I would have already had my camera and I could just hold W this way. That's what I meant to do. This part's kind of fun too. The cat's going to do a little flop because some cats don't like having things on them. Like my cat doesn't like have anything on them. This is just like a little tutorial on how to use the inventory. You're just going to pull it up and close it really quickly. Now this is the only code, and it's the same every time, which is very nice. 3748. You can use a controller to make that easier to type in. I just don't want to bother with it. Spinning.
Spin to win. Let's go.
Spin percent should be a category, but it's not, unfortunately. This is me trying to see how fast I can spin.
A category? A
category, yes. Now this bottle here, give me one moment. Okay, I think that worked. Okay, so that bottle is a good lineup that we use to skip a cutscene right there. That's like the trigger point for it. So like I talked about earlier, using the help macro, like if you pull it up right as you cross a cutscene trigger, it just doesn't happen. Which that one is like technically frame perfect, but with the macro it's way simpler. You can just kind of hold it as you cross over it. Also, I picked up this postcard because if you don't, you're not going to be able to progress because you would normally grab it during the cutscene.
Also, chat flooding chat with spin emotes. Good chat. They know what they're doing.
Let's go, chat. All right, now this chapter is where we do the biggest skip. It's called Sleep Paralysis. Skips 3 entire chapters. It was found like really early on, and I still don't know how someone discovered this. This is just robots freaking out because they haven't seen anything else besides a robot for a very long time. Now this guy here, Guardian, I believe is his name, is going to tell us to go meet someone named Momo. But since we skipped that chapter, we're just going to completely avoid all of that. You can meow at him to make him smile, yeah. Like little fun things like that in this game, just make it
nice.
Make it for me, you know. We're gonna a little bit of explanation for this skip. There's a weird noise there. It's the only skip where you have to change to 30 FPS, where the main clip just doesn't work. It's like a pixel perfect skip, which sounds scary, but really all it is just one tiny step to the right, get it in the right spot, and then everything else, if you know how to set it up, works fine. You can use stuff like the trainer to practice, like it shows you like the right coordinate that you need to be on, which is how you would practice it normally. So here, I like to change it after this dialogue, like when there's a little pause. Change to 30 real quick. The fastest way straight is just under this guy's leg, so that's what I'm gonna do. You can skip to this door. You'd have to scratch normally to open it, but you can just tap E twice really fast on either side. And the checkpoint reset here seems to make this work a lot better, so we're gonna hope that it does. It makes the camera angle seem to line up better for you. Yeah, it's really easy you have to tap very gently. Like like that should work. It was a very tiny step. Now I'm putting my crosshair on the bottom right of this circle. Okay, we got it. We're good. Okay, so
Nice.
that camera angle there is important. And basically what it is you're clipping through that little like computer monitor down there. And it's going to put us in like a no clip state. Now we're kind of like flying through the map. Which you can use this anywhere. But we're going to use it here to clip under this guy's legs. Going to push us out. One thing important here is if you're not too close to this side, like the next part won't load in properly. There. I think I'm already falling. Okay, you're meant to change. Oh god. Okay, you're meant to change frame rates to 60 here. That was kind of scary. You're meant to change frames to 60 there to ensure that it actually loads in properly. I took a bit of a gamble there. Now you have to quit out for the main menu and back, because if you don't, it's another soft lock, because the game won't understand how you're here. And
Right.
I don't think you can even interact in moment here. So what that did is that skipped under a door that you usually can't get through until like 3 chapters later. There's rooftops, and there's Slums Part 2, and then Dead End. Those are all skipped. And then in Dead End, we got this upgrade. We got a little UV light here.
Nice.
Which I will show what that does. It also, disco. It also can't use it forever. There, as you see, it kind of just runs out. Also, Momo, I got the rainbow colors.
Hey, Pride Month, let's go.
It is Pride Month. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This place is creepy. I agree. Does it seem like every game has to have a sewers section? There's me, like always, some kind of sewers.
I'm trying to think, like, what have I played lately that doesn't have sewers in it?
B12 is like, I'm happy I have no sense of smell, because yeah. Now I mean, there's no way to like make this part any faster, I don't think, other than like having a higher frame rate. One thing I need to talk about real quick, because I about forgot, is having B12 active at all times will save literal seconds off the entire run, like throughout the entire run. It's because when you interact with something or pick up something, if B12 is not out of your backpack, he will have to manually come out and do the animation. It takes like half a second each time.
That makes sense.
And that adds up quite a bit, so yeah. Oh, I was saying, I think the only way to make that faster is like maybe have a higher frame rate. This is how fast you delete the Zerks with this. It's just completely evaporated them. Not that we need to, but just because we can. But the thing is about having playing this game at uncapped frame rate, a lot of the physics like go wonky and stuff, like items like start like flying around like crazy. It's just very unstable that way. There's a couple of Zerks up here that you can't really get to. Just kind of hanging out. Yeah, he's just speaking gibberish. If anyone knows robot, can translate that. I have no idea what he's saying.
He is saying bleep bloop lorp, bleep bloop lorp, I believe.
Yes, exactly. Now, I want to say something quick before the runner Drago. He thought in his casual playthrough that Momo would come back after this part and have like a crazy comeback moment to like save us, but just didn't fall through, because it was all this build up for this, and then he just kind of goes away until the end. There's also a little glitch here that you can have 2 Momos at the same time. I'm not sure how that works, but I do know if you're facing towards him right before this cutscene, then you can interact with him faster because you're already on his interact button. I had to learn a lot of like little things like that for like individual levels. Yeah, there's only 1 Momo, no twin. But here, we're gonna just, since we're already facing him, we can just spam the button and there you go. Usually you'd have to like walk up a little bit. Now the next part of sewers, there's a lot to say here. This is the most infamous part, definitely. Most infamous skip, because it does involve RNG, sad face.
No, no.
It's basically a 50-50, which is where I started calling it coin flip. So So it's actually called Water Run, and like to this day, there still isn't any explanation to why it just sometimes refuses to work. It seems like every runner I've watched has like a slightly different way of doing it, whether it be like placebo, where they think, oh, it worked this way this time, that must be why it's working. No, it just doesn't. There's something in the game that just doesn't want it to work sometimes. Thankfully, there is a closer checkpoint that I can get that if it doesn't work, it will save us all some time. So just spooky sewers, parkour. Yeah, this chase section here, I've seen a lot of people die. Because, also I have like a newfound respect for console players because they don't have macro and they have to actually like...
They have to match.
Yes, they have to actually like avoid the enemies. Like imagine that, like there's like more skill to it, definitely.
Yeah, I think I died here a bunch in my first playthrough because this part's hard.
Yeah, you have to really like know how to navigate. There's like creepy eyes everywhere. I use this in my thumbnail for one of my videos, and I don't know if it was just like the giant eye with like the red circle or the fact that it was a world record video that made it have so many views, but I think it definitely helped. So this is the checkpoint right here. You would be sent all the way back if you fill it, but what you can just do is get one. There's these two buttons that you're meant to hit here, but you can actually walk or run on the water. This cutscene or this checkpoint's much closer soon. So I'm gonna line myself up with a certain like ridge on this pipe. It's like an L shape, and do the same here in between these two pipes, and then we just hope that the game decides for it to work. If it doesn't, then we can just reset. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I got the checkpoint. So that's what happens. If it doesn't work, you're sent back to the pipe, and you can't leave the pipe. It's very unfortunate. It is. I am sure people. Yeah, I know some runners have quit because of this. Yeah, this is really unlucky. But like at least it's not at like the end of the game. That's the only thing that I have not to say about it.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a coin flip final boss fight that has killed my last minute barrier on another run, and I'm to this day salty about it.
Yeah, you have to bear with me because this is the worst luck I've had with this on a hotfix before. There we go. Okay.
Nice.
So now I'm under the water. You're gonna do like a WASD to kind of clip through that. For some reason, that part right there took me longer than the actual coin flip my first time doing this. I don't know why.
Oh, jeez.
Now you can run under this bridge, which has a cutscene. Another cutscene skip here. And be careful not to touch any directions or we'll clip out, and that's really bad. But there's a backup that you can get back in, but it's very scary. And we need to reset checkpoint here because there's like a chase sequence here. If you listen really closely, the cat is making like a purring noise here. Like I'm holding a meow, but so you're meant to be holding B12 in your mouth. That's why it sounds different. Obviously, he's still here. He made it. So in that cutscene, B12 like tries to come back and save us, and he accidentally uses the light for too long, and he kind of like overcharges himself.
It knocks himself out, right?
Yeah, we escape with him.
Gotcha.
Now, we had to usually reset for a long time back to the main menu for a second time here. But there was a console runner. I want to say his name is Kuwanger. He discovered that, like, if you let the cat tap B12 like that, then reset checkpoint, then he still works properly. So I think it's just, that's enough to make him reactivate. Well, without having to go back to the main menu. It saves like 8 or 9 seconds. There's a little sprint boost you can get here every time if you wait. Head start into the fan. Yeah, so if I didn't reset checkpoint there or anything, B12 would not be working. Like he wouldn't respond to any of my inputs because he would still be knocked out technically. This is just Ant Village. This is the shortest chapter. It's very simple. There's just one cutscene skip, on this like wooden box here, start of it. Up. And then we're going to need to do the same thing again after we jump off this light. To the right here. Up. And what the purpose of that is after that cutscene, he has more dialogue there. And if you don't do that, he'll just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. He's stuck in a loop. Oh, this is, I believe one of Momo's. Someone that Momo told us to go meet up with there. Some more parkour here on these pipes. Now there's like a really odd thing here again, where you can save. I guess it's like a second or something that you can save. But if you hold W into this like darkness here, into the cutscene, you'll keep moving like at the end of it, and you'll come out of this pipe faster. So I just always hold W here.
Makes sense.
Any W's? But yeah.
Any W's in chat?
So this is the third cutscene. So yep, top of the stairs, and it seems to have a really large window. Seems to be really hard to mess up compared to the other ones. Midtown, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're gonna meet someone named Clem up here. But not yet. We're gonna first see the second enemy. These little drones here. They're called like sentinels or turrets, if you want to call them. At first, we have a Dr. Seuss trick called Cat in the Hat. So you're meant to like. I'll explain a little bit after I do this. You're gonna line up with this cardboard, try to be like parallel to this grate. You can interact with the thing from the outside. See?
Nice.
And clip in. And this guy won't let you in. He like shoos you away. So you're meant to like knock off a bottle in a guy's head in there, wake him up, and he has to slowly walk over there, and then you get in the box and he carries you inside. But that's not optimal for this. So we're gonna grab these two or break these two cameras on the way up. We need to break 3 for this guy to give us a cassette tape later on. It just makes more sense to get him on the way. Another little thing here, you can use help on B12 is keeping him active in parts like this. So say normally he would be on my backpack right now, since I have him out. He'll stay out for this next interaction here. And this is Clem, right here. He tries to hit us with a Pixar lamp, but she eventually realizes that we're just here to help. So we're gonna open this for later. I'm not gonna say why. It's gonna be a secret. No spoilers. She's gonna give us a note and tell us to find someone in a like brown jacket named Blazer. Now there's the last camera on the way down. Set tape. Now this guy wants us to get, the guy in the jacket wants us to get a cat. I said that last time. A hat and a jacket, not a cat in a jacket. We already have the cat. I said that every
jacket's
time.
cooler though.
For real. And we're gonna play this cassette tape to distract this guy, or he would usually shoo us away. We can sneak jacket. Here's Blazer, who is conveniently wearing a blazer, so we could find him easier, I guess. There's a little small skip here. You can get in this box before it fades to black, like that. Stays about a second or so. B12 still pops. You're gonna see the cat kind of like float up from the ground here. It's funny.
Nice.
You can still technically like move around. It's very hard to give a glimpse, but I'm actually like moving around right now in the box. Neko Corporation, Cat Corporation.
Yeah, I caught that.
There's terrible security. Like, oh, it's a box. It says the right name. It must be allowed, right? And now we're gonna have the first real run-in with these turrets. For this part, you can literally just hold W and run past, even though you're meant to be like sneaky here. If you take like good lines and good jumps, you don't need to worry about any of this stuff. This part is scary, and you can die here. If you really have like bad timing there, you can die. It like rarely happens though. just opening doors to progress. I'm just going to show you. This isn't necessary for here, but you can meow to distract them to like get them to not see you. You don't need to do that here though, because you're just too fast. Like here, I'll show. I'm just going to run into them, and they're not going to be able to notice.
See, every time I did this, I got caught and then had to restart it.
There's a crazy thing in the 100% route where they can actually follow you in this room. It is terrifying. They can actually be in this room with you while you're trying to do this puzzle. Now, we're going to do a little bit of this a bit different way. We're meant to have all 3 buttons pressed at the same time, which will be these 2 boxes, that barrel, and yeah, just that. But what we're going to do is just use the barrel to jump up here instead, and use the cat as the last thing to press the button with. Now, sometimes these boxes can get stuck, and that was kind of my fault. I think I activated it while I was too close to the barrel or something. But I want to stop it here, so we have 2 active. Now we have 3 with the cat, and we're going to jump up before this goes back up and grab the battery. That skipped having to push that barrel all the way across to the other button. Here, if I can get it to show up, for some reason they left in a jump prompt here on the side, like in midair. Right there. There's
Interesting.
What's up with that? You can spin here again. But do not jump there, you're stuck. There's no way out of them.
Oh, okay.
Unless you reset checkpoint, but like... I'm not sure what happened there. Now we're going to run back to Clem, and... Popo has arrived. They caught on to what we're trying to do here. I used to die here a lot, but you can actually just hug the right side of this stairs like this. Runner Lettuce Seeds told me that on my stream one day, and I was like, you can just do that? Okay, that's great. Here we're going to need to get clues from Clem. You can actually meow there to do a different strat, but I'm just going to play it safer here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. There's 3 clues we need to get. Since Clem has escaped, we have to know where she went. Just left like little breadcrumbs behind for us. And this I figured out one day is you can just do like a U-turn here as you interact with this one. So you're already facing the correct way.
Nice.
Now here, like, if I was to meow before that, this guy wouldn't be here. But it's a lot safer just to reset, because you can do that and he'll still sometimes just be there waiting for you. So it's very risky. But by hitting reset, then that ensures that he will be, the coast will be clear. And we can just go on our merry way. Now the notes told us to go to the nightclub, do some cat jamming stuff, you know what I mean?
Cat jam.
And this skip actually is called Cat Jam because we're going to just ignore all that advice and just skip the nightclub. So what this is going to be, this little window jump here, is, give me one moment here. I'm going to get a checkpoint here, see? Now that checkpoint is the checkpoint that you would get when you're in the nightclub. So now it thinks I'm in the nightclub when I'm out here, which is gonna unload quite a bit of the area out. Bit of the area out here, as you can see. Now there's a crazy strat here that I'm not going to go for, where you can fall there. It's very precise, and you can like fall on a barrel, but this is a guaranteed way. I mean, if you want to like aura farm, I'm sure you can go for that other way, but like a marathon run like this, very farm, I'm sure you can go for that other way, but like a marathon run like this, very scary because your run is basically over. You would fall on the second barrel down there. Now this is gel. and we were meant to have lost B12 and get tricked by the guy in the brown jacket. He actually kidnapped us. Womp womp. But we skipped all that. We still have B12. This turret also can't really catch us. There's Clem, she's been locked up. Something very interesting is even though you're not meant to have B12 here, you can still use them for things. Which makes me think that you were originally not meant to lose him, but I'm not sure. Long time. You can give her a little pep in her step there. Apparently that glitch was making things go crazy. I don't know what happened there. But if you're playing glitchless, there's a good chance that Clementine will just not follow you here, and it can kill your runs. Very sad. She actually, her like AI actually works better in unrestricted, surprisingly. There she comes. So what happens is she just won't walk this way, so I like walk into the wall there because like in my head it makes me think that she's going to follow me more likely. I've just kind of always done that. Something crazy here is there's a second B12 because we still have B12. This is the fake. This is the fake one, the one that we were supposed to lose. And we're gonna be like, "Yo, Clem, we should probably go save this guy so we could progress the game." He's like, "Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, we should definitely go do that." Now we can interact with Clem again right after this cutscene. We turn around, interact. She's gonna open the door from here with telekinesis, I suppose. Let us on through. And then we can open this door, which is not meant to be open until later, which will just trigger her to teleport to where she's supposed to be, like that. That's amazing. She's kind of dumbfounded at what the heck just happened, so I was going to give her a minute to refocus here. She's going to tell us we need to go this way. This part is scary too, because if you die, yeah, game over. So I'm going to need to be careful here. Just because of the way that I did that, you can get soft locked. We need to meow at this guy to get him to look away. Take our time here. We do not want to die. Now here, you can move during this cutscene yet again, and before it's over, you can make it all the way to B12. Actually, this is actually the first thing I learned when I started running this game. I thought it was so cool that you could actually move during that. Back to Clem. We currently have B12 on our back and in our mouth. Wait, there's like, what's happening here? There's like two different timelines. This is crazy. Also, B12 has like the rainbow color eyes. We're going to reset here because of the way that I did all that. Clem isn't going to know where to go. She's going to just kind of walk in place. Yes, we're working it so hard. Here, I've seen people do this many different ways, but the way that I have done it for a long time is the way that Lettuce Seeds video shows, like her setup for it, is you just kind of like, you're supposed to mint until she like crouches down and then picks you back up. You can do kind of a fast jump. You kind of wait until you see her face like there, then you go. And you want to be over the wall before she can even stand back up. Saves about a second or so. Very easy to do with that setup if you time it right. This part can be a bit scary too, because we're going to actually have to lock up some of the turrets ourselves now. Kind of like bait them in here. Back out. Baited. Now their AI can be a bit strange with like not wanting to follow you sometimes, which can lead to some funny fails here. Now the second one, they were like, well, what could be harder than doing one turret lockup? Let's make them try 2 at once. That'll show them. But hopefully, if you time it right, you will not die. So what I'm gonna do is kind of wait until this one turns around on the right, so I can get both to see me at the same time, like there. Run in here, hit the button, use the pillar to. Oh, okay, that was unfortunate. There is a chance you can die sometimes because their aim is just like random, and they kind of get lucky sometimes. That was very unlucky. But you can usually just run past the pillars like that, and they won't be able to touch you. Let's try this again. Yep. Oh, okay, this is really unfortunate. Out of all places that I could have died, of the crazy skips in this game, it had to be here.
And at least once in a really tough run, because it shows everybody just how difficult the run actually is. If you do everything flawlessly, it looks too easy, you know?
That's very true, actually, yeah. That's what Tomato Angus actually told me when I was making the video for him. Is he said I should have at least one fail of like the coin flip, because it shows like, hey, this game, you know, this game isn't all like, it's not all like easy peasy all the time. Yeah, that was just back to back. Like there was really not much I could have done. Like, I always say that those turrets' aim is so bad that they sometimes just hit you by accident. Anyway, so this here again, I can keep B12 active for this interaction. I'm gonna find a convenient car here. And luckily there's no soft lock in that part. That would have been bad.
Yeah, the turret aim being so bad that it accidentally hits you is like the perfect example of failing up.
Yes. Now she doesn't even give us an option if we want to drive the car or not. Rude, but I'm just gonna assume that we can't drive. Now this, I actually did, like I've seen people do it by accident in their casual playthrough. So you can catch up to the truck to the back of it like before it like takes off all the way, and you can skip this entire chase sequence here. You kind of just like run diagonally like this, and off the back of it. If you didn't do that, you'd have to run all the way down here and dodge turrets. It's a mess. You don't want to have to do that. All right, we have some crazy driving here. Clem. Driving for our lives.
I remember the driving section, and oh boy, it was quite the challenge.
I hope in Stray 2 there is like some kind of driving mechanic or something. Some kind of crazy driving part. Now we're gonna have to split up here. Sad, I know. After all we've been through.
Oh no.
But yeah, she's doing it to protect us. She's gonna get the turrets off of her back. Now she just gave us the key to the train. We got the battery earlier, so we got in the factory section. Now there's something new here. Or not, it's not new, but it's like new to me that I want to try to do. You can actually start the train and then get out of it before the cutscene starts, which is just hilarious. Now here, you just kind of want to turn around as you're placing the battery, so you're already facing the right way. Also, really good music here. It goes hard. Now, I used to think you had to jump in this chair to put the key in for so long, and I was losing time every time. And until one day I was just like, wait, you can just run under the key button. So here, if I place the key and run out, you'll see. I'm just kidding. Train skip. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't change anything. It's just something funny you can do.
That's fine.
You know, like me and Draga used to joke that the cat was driving the train. I guess that joke doesn't really apply here because you can clearly see it. It's not. And you could still meow here a little bit.
Reminds me of the jet ski glitch from RE4 original.
Jet ski? Yeah.
Where you just take off without the jet ski.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Here, there's another. Well, I kind of meant to show more of these, but I got sidetracked. You can just like zoom in the cat the entire screen. Get a close up.
Very nice.
The animators went hard on the cat eyes. Look, it's like showing the reflection and everything. All right, now this is the last chapter here. Control room. For some reason, this is the only stairs where you can get like a turbo boost. And it just kind of zooms you up in random intervals if you run parallel to it. No other stairs has that flaw. I don't know how that happened, but and this is meant to be a puzzle with these two buttons, but you can actually push this little like I guess you call it Roomba or boxes, whatever. I like to call them Roombas. You can like wedge it into the door. I like that. Wedge it into the door just far enough to where you can jump on it as it's like clipping through. It can be a bit of a hassle sometimes. And oh, okay, it decided to what? Okay, this has never happened before. I think I might be stuck.
Oh, he said the thing.
I think I might be stuck.
Oh no.
I don't know what's happening. Okay, I don't know what to do except for reset checkpoint. That's crazy. That's the only time that would happen is something like this. That was bizarre.
All good. No worries.
I don't think I've ever had that happen before.
I'm just glad we finally had one on this show. We average one per episode of Crosshair, so it's at least we got it for this episode.
Get another zoom in at least. Yeah, when I said it can be finicky, I don't mean that finicky. That was like a whole new level. I was literally stuck in place with no option but to reset checkpoint.
We have zoomed past finicky into janky.
Yeah, that was beyond janky. I mean, it even let me through, and it was like, nah. Yeah,
that was weird.
It just clipped me back out.
Because it looked like you had gotten through, and then it just like warped you back out. That was really weird.
No, I'm gonna place it more in the middle. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but. Should be just like that. That's how it should be. Now the last cutscene skip, there's a little yellow line there just for you to know where it's at. Very convenient. We're gonna hopefully be able to free the city. I didn't really mention it, or get a chance to look up the sky, but there's like fake stars in the sky, meant to look like a real night sky. But you'll see that this entire time the whole city has just been trapped in this like big dome thing. Now this section here, a lot of people hate the movement into. I and a lot of other people have lost many runs here, just this movement. If you hit one wrong keyboard, then you have to like go back and say like, oh, which one did I miss? And then you go back, it takes like forever. It's really bad.
Jeez.
So you need to be careful there. Now there's 3 terminals here that you need to disable to like open up the roof. Now we're gonna do it a different way. And we're gonna make 2 cutscenes play at the same time. Imagine that. So you break the wiring for this one, but you don't interact with the terminal yet because that starts the first cutscene. What you do is go over here. You set up this one and do it first. And why, you may ask, why do it this way? You'll see. So here I'm gonna get a text like dialogue on my screen pop up. And I can leave it on my screen as I walk over here. I'm gonna go very far just to make sure I actually get it. Like that. And then I can interact with this as the other cutscene. See, it's like going back and forth because they're both happening at the same time.
Very nice.
And this is the last one right here. Also notice B12 is starting to spark and smoke. He's kind of breaking down, poor guy. He's taking out all of his energy. He's sacrificing himself.
B12, no.
Many a tear was shed here, I'm sure. People's playthroughs.
B12, BT. All these robots sacrificing themselves at the very end of the game.
I guess I'm 07 for B12 here.
07's in chat.
There we go. Now, I mean, if you weren't paying attention to the game, you might be like, wait, really? This entire time we were in a dome? But like, to to me at least, it was pretty obvious that like this is not a real, like we've been trapped here the whole time. It's like if you look up at the stars, they're all in like circular patterns. It look so fake. Like, I forgot to even mention it, but in jail they have like a fake skybox. It looks like the sky, just to like mess with them even more. Oh, that's a cute picture right there. Here we go. Yeah, see what I mean? Like the way the stars are aligned. Open up and let there be light. Now this light is going to completely zap all the Zerks, and it also kills the turrets too, for some reason. We're going to see like all the characters. Also the ones that we completely skipped over, we're going to see them too. There's Momo again. You might be thinking, who are these guys? Like, I've never seen these guys, because yeah, we probably either skipped the chapter or wasn't necessary for this run. You see a lot more of the characters in 100%. And there goes the turrets. For some reason, also get killed by the light. Open up. Now I can start hitting like buttons here to make the cat get up faster before the fade to black goes away. I really wish the cat would take B12 with him, but it decides not to.
So the city looks so much less cyberpunky with when it's in broad daylight.
Yeah, it does. This robot is like shrugging. He's completely dumbfounded. Like, how did you manage to do all that? You're just a cat. Now, one last thing here is you can't sprint during this last like run up section or like walk out section. You can jump on this box, which is faster, a little bit faster. And the time will end as soon as the fade to black starts. Top of the stairs right here. So about 3, 2, 1, time.
GG.
I want to also make sure that I have a list here of stuff I want to shout out before I go.
Oh yeah, shout out whoever and tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, I go by John or Jonathan on Twitch and YouTube mainly. That's mainly the only two I use. As of right now, I've been like learning Celeste speedruns. It's like just starting out because it looked like a really fun game. I want to shout out the biggest reason that I got into this game was my cat named Bootsy, who passed away in 2024, late 2024. And I've kind of always associated this game with her in like a really strong way. I want to shout out the French runner named Anemian because he had all the world records before I even touched this game. He had it in every category. And he was, not just for me, but for everyone that's ever been involved in this game, was a huge inspiration. I want to shout out Tomato Angus because I worked on a video with him earlier this year. That was great. Triad Panda is insanely adorable. It's a father-daughter duo that play this game with, like, they use two players, one controller. So, like, the daughter will have one hand on the right side of the controller, and the father will have the left hand. It's very cute.
Nice.
And it's very hard to do that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of coordination. I want to shout out Draga SR because I did the first hotfix run with him for commentary. And I want to shout out Lettuce Seeds because she's been like a great competitor for me in this game. That definitely kept me like inspired to keep playing because like knowing I still had someone to compete with, you know. But yeah, that's about it for this game. I hope everyone enjoyed. It was a blast for me.
It was a blast to watch, and thank you again for showing it off and for being on Crosshair. We'll hopefully have you back sometime in the future.
Heck yeah.
All right, folks. Well, before we go to our next break, I want to challenge you all to do something real quick for me. I want you to open another. Welcome back, folks. Thank you for waiting. There was a mouse that chewed through the wires. I'm not gonna take credit for that joke. That was all Meta. Meta came up with that one. I just said it, but it was Meta's fault that joke now exists. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start over the run since we had technical difficulties before. Abu and Meta, if you want to just do a real quick reintroduction of yourselves.
Were you gonna say Abu and Kamu? Anyway, my name is Abu Kamu. I am a horror speedrunner. I moderate this game. I have speedrun this game as well. Fantastic game. You guys are in for a treat, Meta.
Yeah, my name's Meta. I'm a FPS and like movement speedrunner of all kinds of. I do like Doom, Titanfall, Mirror's Edge, like basically everything. I also moderate for this game. I have run this game. I've been learning some other categories, and it's really great. It's phenomenal.
Agreed. All right, let's go ahead and get the run restarted again. And just for in case anybody is joining us that missed the beginning, our runner is actually not going to be speaking throughout the run. He's going to be unmiked, so it is going to be just Kamu, Meta, and myself doing commentary. And with that, Van, I hope you're ready, buddy. We're gonna get this run started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
All right, introducing the game from a narrative perspective. This is Mouse PI, a 2026 game, noir style boomer shooters, Cuphead art style, yeah, Cuphead art style boomer shooter. Made by Polish studio Fumi Games. A lot of tech immediately off the bat, as you could see right there. Meta, if you kind of just want to explain.
If you've played this game casually, you'll remember there's like a bit of a tutorial section there. We skipped that entirely with something called the dash boost. Essentially, if you haven't played this game, there is a dash in it. You dash forward, it halts your momentum immediately. However, if you do this into certain geometry at a specific angle, you can continue that dash, or you keep the velocity forward. Van is now doing something called chandelier skip. This is really, really tough. I'm not going to lie to you. I spent probably a good 12 hours before I was able to do this with any level of consistency. The fact that Van was able to do this in a marathon setting is phenomenal. Boom! There's a major zip right there. Okay, so there's an invisible wall in this game. There's like a propelling force on invisible walls that are intended to keep you out. But if you're already on the other side, that force will push you all the way through at a speed dependent on your frame rate. We normally run around 160 FPS to like optimize that. Quick death warp there to just teleport across the arena. Combat optimization. And the combat is already over. And guess what? That's the end of the first level. This is a very fast moving run. And we're actually going to be going sort of backwards in time here, sort of like in the noir style where we're doing the end of the storyline first, and then we'll kind of see, you know, how the characters got to this point. So we're now going, like I said, back in time to see how we got there, and spoiler alert, we will be back to that level very soon.
Yeah, and kind of reiterate, there was a, because we talked about it a little bit before on the last run, but this is kind of a very common trope with film noir as a film genre. If you're a classic movie fan, you'll know that a lot of these stories start at the very end and they work themselves backwards, or sorry, they play at the end and then they go all the way back to the beginning and then they play all the way back up through to the end. So that's the reason why the last level is also the first level, which of course just leads to the film noir genre being the reason why this run is totally broken.
Yeah. Quick out of bounds explanation there. So you'll see Van has made a save and loaded that save. So how this tech works is you're going to jump as you make a save so that your character is just below the ceiling, so that when you reload the save, the game thinks that, oh, you should be at that height. And so that when you reload into the game, when you reload into the game during a black scene and you crouch and stand up, you're actually above the texture now because you saved at the apex of the jump. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that.
You save while crouched, and then the act of loading the save forcefully uncrouches you, which if you do it close to the ceiling, puts you right through. So yeah, it's a bit finicky. It's alongside most of the tricks in this run, it's quite difficult, but yeah, very cool. Allows for some very cool out of bounds It's one of my favorite things in especially FPS speedruns. It's where, you know, you spend a lot of time like parkouring out of bounds. That's one of my favorite things. Shadow Warrior 3, Doom 2016. That might be a very, you know, there's only a few people that have actually run those games, but
I've heard it told that every first-person shooter speedrun eventually becomes a 3D platformer.
Steps.
yeah.
Much for staying incognito.
Also,
So
shout out
you guys
to,
will notice
Troy
the
Baker
category-
doing the voice acting for this game. So good.
So you guys will notice that the cat or mouse at the bottom, Mousagori,
Mousagori, yes.
Yes, the Mousagori for this game is unrestricted, which means any and all glitches can be used. But you'll also notice that it is at 6 PS. And the reason why we limit this, the lowest FPS that this category can go is 60 FPS, because you get more momentum at a lower FPS. So you're going to see that we pick up the double jump tech right there. And what 60 FPS does that 20 FPS doesn't is 60 FPS actually has to play through more of the levels to pick up more of the jump tech. On 20 FPS, because you could jump further, there is kind of a level. There's kind of a portion of the final level that needs really long jumps. You're able to accomplish those jumps on 20 FPS, but on 60 FPS, you need to actually get the jump tech. So 60 FPS is a little bit longer. 20 FPS pretty much skips the entire game. No, I think it is a 11-minute world record or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Short.
Yeah. And
Grabbing a blueprint there because we will still have to fight the final boss in this game, and we'll be upgrading. I believe it's the Tommy gun, right? I mean, we've gone back and forth between the Tommy gun and the Varnisher.
Yeah.
But,
we'll see which one Van ends up doing, but yeah,
I'm honestly not sure what's in the current route.
The optimal weapon has kind of changed as the run's gone on. It's the one thing that has never really stayed super consistent from even runner to runner. I think each runner does it even differently.
I think Glitchless does the Varnisher once, but I think the glitch categories would do the Tommy gun. Tommy gun is absolutely just broken in this game.
But Varnisher, my beloved. I am a Varnisher stan.
This is a very cool game, though, as you guys could see. A very cute overworld that's all hand-drawn. Little car as we go to Vandal's Laboratory. And now, normally, this level would have 3 bosses, but, you know, we're speedrunners. we're speedrunners.
So the one thing that I will say is you can't just go from like point A to point, Z in this run. You do need to collect each and every one of the like main clues, because obviously this is a detective story. Those like primary clues actually are required for progression in this game. Yeah, so that kind of makes it interesting, I think. Like there is definitely a place for out of bounds runs, like super broken runs, where you just in every level you fly from point A to point Z and you finish the game just like that, right? But I think this makes the routing a little bit more interesting, where you have to do a couple of things. It gives you the opportunity for, I like to call it creative routing, right?
Agreed.
Basically breaking things within the framework that you're given. So yeah.
Yeah.
And routing it.
So.
Yeah. Routing it's always a blast too, because the process is always you go A to Z and then you can't progress. Okay, what do we need to progress past Z? And then it becomes an A to B, B to C, and then you start cutting out.
Oh, this is essentially the same tech as a typewriter clip, but even more difficult because we don't have a typewriter to do a manual save on. We have to kill the enemy that gives you an autosave, and at the same we need to make sure that the autosave triggered from the death of the enemy happens while we're at the peak of our jump. So that's a lot more precise, because we only control about half of the actions required. This is a new route for me. I hadn't seen that before.
Okay, we have a request in chat. If we can do 1940s mobster style voices for the rest of the run.
Yeah,
I don't think you want that from me. I do not think you want that from me.
It's all right.
Now listen here,
Slick. Autosave.
Coast Guard papers. Arrival.
Oh, they're very nice. Oh, wait. You don't even have to do the. Oh my god, that's new.
Oh, you do have to fight it. You do have to
okay.
fight it.
Oh, okay. So
You're thinking of the alternate version where you just hit the boss fight first, but
You
this is
don't-
technically fast.
Wait,
Oh,
no, you don't have to fight it. That's new. I didn't even know that.
So to reiterate for folks, this is a newer game. It just came out this year, and there are new discoveries still being found. I mean, if Ocarina of Time is finding stuff 20 years later, we're certainly going to find a lot more in this game that hasn't been found yet. So
I
Stan?
love speedrunning.
I stand corrected. You do not fight any of the 3 bosses in that.
Van is
probably
sitting
just
there
shaking his head.
shaking his head, going, "Oh, you poor fool! You have no idea."
But yeah, the natural progression of the levels is we're pretty much returning to the PI office every time. After a level to put the clues on the board, this unlocks another narrative and another level, and it's that continuous cycle. This jump is actually, I think it's the hardest jump in the game.
Yeah, you have to do a
Wow,
lot of
second try.
parkour to get up high here. This is.
Oh, it's not even over yet. It's
Yeah, but that first jump was like the hard one. The rest of it's relatively simple.
Dash boosting.
Some of us aren't as good as
Nice.
you, Dane.
Well,
and
I
another
also have
dash
never
boost.
attempted this. I've just seen it.
Yeah. No, Van is making this look incredibly easy, but Van is an extremely talented speedrunner. Trust me, each one of these jumps is hours of practice.
Oh my god, that checkpoint is so hard to grab. And Van just comes in and just, yeah, easy peasy. All right.
Crooked cops were hauling shrews into the sewers.
That's the beautiful thing about speedrunning, right? It looks impressive, but a lot of people who never speedran the game don't truly know how actually hard and impressive this is. I'm so impressed right now, actually. This is so cool.
I mean, that skip was beautiful.
Oh god.
We had a request for
starting
more
with this now.
fun, so here we go.
Boo.
I leave that to you, my friend.
More ways than
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I mean the execution of this run, like the tricks are very, very difficult, but then there's also the movement in between the tricks, which is it's really, really beautiful.
If what you're saying is true, this is
Yeah, and if you
Exactly.
are,
Need.
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, on top of you kneel, if you're competing for a world record time or a very competitive time, this not only do you have to nail the tricks, but you have to have kind of, I would say, an innate gamer knowledge of how movement in these types of games should go. Because if your movement isn't clean, but you can nail the tricks, it still doesn't do you any good. So this combination of skill has just been incredibly impressive to watch.
Yeah, having a background in a run like Doom Eternal or, as Meadow said earlier, Shadow Warrior 3, games like that give you a lot more knowledge about how movement likeness works, because there is a lot of the DNA of those games kind of built into this one, with like things like dash boosting and just the general flow of movement being very similar.
Now that Van, like we're a little bit further into the run here, we've collected a few weapons and we got some upgrades going here. This is probably the first like normal-ish combat encounter that we'll see, and potentially the only one that we'll see in the run. Some really beautiful combat optimizations going in here. I couldn't even tell you what individually is going into this, but like using your environment with the barrels to hit the spawns like as they come through the doorways and stuff. Hitting with another typewriter clip here. I think, was that downwards?
It was upward. There's a.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So normally this game on glitchless, there are a lot of forced combat sections. So it's one of those deals to know when the autosave is going to hit. You have to memorize each encounter of what the last enemy is. Because let's say you accidentally kill an enemy that you weren't supposed to kill. Oh, this glitch. Well,
That was nice. That was so fast. I've seen runners just like ride those like fly things for probably like 30 seconds.
yeah. Okay, so this is a glitch that you're not going to be able to see in this category, I believe. But there is a way to manipulate those flyers that they can continuously fly upwards with no limit. So other categories will have you jump on that enemy continuously as they fly more and more up. By the way, here's another boss. It's super simple. But there is no vertical limit. Some levels have a vertical ceiling, but we go in other categories of this game. Using that unlimited verticality, we just go over a lot of walls.
Also,
the invisible walls in this game are huge.
I just want to say I hate this boss fight because I ran out of ammo doing it and I had to reset it.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the barrels actually refill around the arena.
Yeah, but if you don't have enough ammo to shoot the barrels with.
So yeah, we now have the helicopter, which lets you hover. This is sort of the key feature, or the key routing difference of 80% 60 FPS. Van has now just very suddenly done a save warp while I was talking. So essentially, it's very technical, but in short, we are taking the version of the character that progressed and got the helicopter. You can see Van has the helicopter, and we are loading back into the first level. But because the first level is the last level, and we're taking the progress of the new character, we are actually warping to the instance of the last level. You'll notice that we have the new enemies here, and yeah, so we've skipped how many is it? 13 levels, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, these will look very familiar. We got chandelier skip again. We're gonna do a zip here through the wall. 1, 2, 3, boom!
Very nice.
Huge zip.
Yeah, if you love chandelier skip, you get to do it twice in this run. Whoa! Okay, that was... Talk about how difficult it is to actually jump from that top platform back in bounds. That was really impressive.
That required a lot of confidence. I respect it.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
I think this is really interesting because we get the pickups of all the weapons that we've skipped throughout the rest of the game.
The enemy spawns are different too. It's important to note when you play it the second time around.
Yeah.
That's confusing. I was gonna say y'all didn't miss much. We fought a bunch of assassins. We fought a bunch of corrupt politicians. We fought planes, tanks. Yeah, final level. And this was the part I was talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, we do go to hell and the mental asylum
at some point. Yeah, get this game if you haven't gotten this game because it's actually really good for playthrough.
Yeah,
yes,
this is a good moment to say that the casual playthrough is fantastic. We also do have other categories that don't, skip the entire game. So if that is more your flavor, we have a category for everything of your interest. And yeah, if you like FPS speedruns, come speedrun Mouse. Yeah, we specifically have a category called no save warping, which is about an hour longer. So if you don't like the big skips, that's going to be much more up your alley. Common?
Yeah, so this is the part of the level I was talking about earlier that 20 FPS can just do the jumps. They can dash boost, and they're actually able to get to the planes further into the distance without... That reset was perfect. It gives us more time to talk about the game because Van is going so quick. Van, I need you to reset 3 more times so I can explain. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but he's clearly frustrated swinging the mouse around like that.
No, but yeah, 20 FPS doesn't need to get helicopter and double jump essentially to do this part of the level. The higher FPS because your jump boosts are cover a little less distance. Jump boost needs to get those 2 ticks, so that is why 60 FPS differs from 20 FPS. It is still very difficult to get the appropriate distance for these jumps.
Yeah, I feel like I also need to reiterate, the reason that we played 3 extra levels is not because we needed to play those levels. It's to get the helicopter. Specifically to get the helicopter for this level.
Yeah, I don't think you can complete this segment without it.
You can on 20 FPS. But,
yeah, you can on 20, obviously, but if your frame lock is 60, I don't think it's actually possible.
Yeah, I know. I've seen there's been some discussion about the resolution boosting, which gives you similar results to 20 FPS boosts. Yeah. But yeah.
I think any 20 FPS runner will still tell you that this is probably the worst section in the game to speedrun for them.
Yeah, a lot of runs die here.
Yeah. And it's just a slow section to begin with. I mean, it's funny because like the first half of the run is just go, 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 and super precise, super like tight timings. And then you get to the plains and it's not auto scroller, but it's almost auto scroller from that point on.
Speaking of auto scrollers,
right? Perfect segue.
Yeah. Anyway, final boss, multiple phases.
It's the devarnisher. I knew it.
Yay!
What is the devarnisher? Huh.
That's my baby right there. I love that weapon.
I love that gun.
Also,
all right, first phase.
Yeah, someone called it out earlier. One of the guns is called the James gun. So thank you for pointing that out.
Phase 1 of this boss fight, there are intercoms with out. And then we're gonna have to break 2 phases of this. But in the middle of this, we're gonna have to do a laser hell. What hell? This laser hell?
Laser hell, yeah. I guess you could call it that.
There is a spot in the room you could stand to make this free, but a lot of runners actually just opt to do it because it looks cooler for a marathon. And they like to show off how good they are. Like
Is there an actual god spot for this?
Yes,
there is a god spot. But
I actually had no idea about that.
Ben's showing it, yeah. Yeah, it's also like...
That's funny.
It's like, you might as well do something, right?
Yeah,
you can't speed this section up, so you might as well... It's your options are scroll through Twitter or, interact with the video game, so...
Yeah.
What are you going to choose, really?
The running gag for a segment like this is, what do you do during this part? You pick the lint out of your navel and ask chat what they had for lunch. But yeah, since we're sitting through an auto scroller, I guess that would be probably a good time to do shout outs since you're coming up pretty quickly on the end of the run. So let's, Talmo, if you want to do your shout outs now.
Shout out to Fumi Game Studios. I mean, I've been wanting to play. No, I mean, I've been wanting to play this game ever since it came out, and this game was way better than I could have imagined it to ever be. It is incredibly fun to play, even if you are not a speedrunner. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to the mod team on speedrun.com for this.
The people in this call. Everyone in this call.
But real talk, shout out to maybe hundreds of runners who have put probably thousands of hours to making every bit of this level. There's so many levels, and every single level has its own dedicated thread. If there was a category that just showed off all the levels with all the glitches and skips, it would be just incredible to show off, but this run is just so amazing with all the different categories. So shout out to all the rats and mice that help this run together.
Yeah, if you're interested in speedrunning, like if you like FPS speedruns or if you like, rubber hose animation, come to Speedrun SPI. There's all different kinds. There's lots of different categories for you to check out, and lots of helpful people help you learn them.
Yeah, if you're a Cuphead fan.
Also shout out to Sharkhat, who has a Dead Space run coming up. If you're a Dead Space fan or a fan of sharks, stay tuned for that.
Or hats.
Sharks and or hats.
Okay, so the real important question, I guess to you guys and the chat as well. What is your favorite cheese?
Gruyere.
What's the context here? Are we talking like...
No. A deity strikes you down and says, I'm getting rid of every cheese in the world.
I like this way too.
Okay, so universal.
Universal.
I gotta go with the classic. Actually, no, I was gonna say marble, but you know what? I think I gotta go with Havarti.
It's a good choice.
Havarti?
Yeah.
Havarti's a good cheese, man.
I like Havarti, but as your
Don't hate. Don't be a Havarti hater.
I was gonna say brie. I like brie.
Brie's also good. I was hoping that was going to be a deviant and say American cheese since he's Canadian.
I will say though, while not my favorite, I do appreciate a blue cheese, which is I think that might be a hot take. I don't know. Depending on the demographic, potentially.
I am a staunch blue cheese hater, so it's a hot take for me. I'll just say that.
Anyway, phase 2 in the boss fight, the BMP leader, or like BUMP. Anyway, the BMP leader sends his big goon after us. It's an arena. I'm just gonna beat him, very simple, with an infinite spawning ad crowd behind us. And then into phase 3, where we just fight him. This run is ending very shortly. It's how you guys can see the strength of the Varnisher, which acts as an acid gun.
Someday we may have some sort of like Sawyer skip. That I think so. You know, I've spoken before about like Holy Grail skips in speedrunning. I think in commentary on this channel, although you know maybe you haven't seen it, but Holy Grail skips in speedrunning. That's like the big one, right? We're talking Wind Waker barrier skip. We're talking what else is there?
The auto scroller in Titanfall 2.
That's like. Intro skip in Doom 2016. That's obviously probably way too niche as well.
TV skip in Resident Evil 7.
Oh yeah, TV skip.
This game has Sawyer skip. Someday.
End of the line.
Anyway, that is the end of the game, but time is not coming up. We actually have to save our buddy. We're gonna do the 1-2 knockout and save our buddy right here. Time will come as soon as this last cutscene starts.
Let's get out of here. I bet Tammy's already threatening someone with a wrench.
That is
What a wild
Time. GG's.
GG, Van.
Done, Van. That was an excellent showcase. Thank you again for being here, for showing it off. I'm glad that we got the fastest mouser. The fastest mouse PI for hirer to come and show it off on Crosshair. So thank you, Van, again for being here, for showing it off. And thank you, Kamu and Meta, for being here, for doing commentary.
One last thing, though, really quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
You guys do want to see this game, another category that's slightly longer. This game is on at Summer Games Done Quick in about 1.5 to 2 weeks. My good friend Blood Thunder will be running it, a different category, so you get to see a lot more of the levels. It should be a good time, and I don't know how BT's gonna beat that run. Your run was so good. It was a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, and go follow our runner at twitch.tv/1vanish with 2 H's. You can also find him on YouTube with the same name. And folks, that is going to be it for Crosshair this evening, but fear not, because the GDQ Hotfix, which is also a good thing, is still not over yet, because coming up next we've got speedruns from the crypt, so stick around for some spooky speedruns. We'll be back in a few more than 2 weeks, actually, because the next time you'll see me, it'll be after SGDQ. We got a fun game lined up for that episode. Not going to tell you yet. You're gonna have to tune in for that one. But as always, folks, no matter what your dreams, goals, or hopes are in this world, always keep them in your crosshair.